Hi, how's everybody doing? I figured out why my mic kept picking up weird audio for the past like 2 days. Because I was talking into the wrong microphone. I had switched over to game capture when I was messing around with that, and then I set it back and I accidentally reset it to my webcam audio and not my actual microphone audio, so I've been sounding like nasty for a bit. But sometimes it just be like that, you know? I have to go to sleep in 8 minutes in this game. And then we'll have our friend Kim Kutsuragi back, and that would be nice. But until then, I can just wander around and get some stuff done, you know? Like, I could go wander to the other area and just try and collect some, like, bottles. This guy, I have an empathy check I need to succeed on with him, I believe. So I might
Still
just
here.
level
Stuck in this damn jam, my man.
empathy and just, try again. Truly, what else can one do when confronted with failure? We've got like 5 skill points. Might as well, Look at that. I also think we're gonna have to start putting points into authority at some point. I'm not super excited about that, but I'm gonna have to. Oh, I lose volition from having taken damage. Interesting. I didn't know that. Did I put that level in? I think I did. Yeah, I did. So now this check should be ready for me to go ahead on. You know? The next day, the water bridge opens up, and that's going to be a whole bunch of exciting stuff. But we're not just there
Still
yet.
here. Stuck in this damn jam, my man. What's up?
Empathy 6. Am I losing something for empathy? I imagine I don't have like clothes that make me more empathetic. I might, actually. Spirit of the Corpse, +2 authority, action speed, suggestion, -1 authority, +1 logic. Let's go. Let's
Still
dream
here.
the big dream.
Stuck in this damn jam, I'm.
In his eyes, an unfamiliar longing, flecks of brown and gold.
Familiar? How?
It's hard to say. His gaze wanders southwest, down the street that goes beyond the horizon. The road continues for miles, flowing together with other roads, turning into causeways or bridges, ending suddenly in dead ends, or ramping up or down highways. It forms a crisscross pattern across the land.
Where does it lead?
Above the Jamrock Quarter, in the form of a raised motorway, and then the never-ending sprawl of Forburg, high above buildings, new and old, the air filled with the rumble of motor engines.
So, as I've been playing the game again, I've realized that the shivers, like everything that comes from the shivers, is just like really made me feel weird. I think it's because I've been stuck where I am for so long that just hearing the description of other places just sounds so like exciting, like scary at the same time. I don't know.
To the old, old south, to the farthest outskirts of Revachol, through the checkered fields of farmland, upstream to the river Esperance, past Montmartin, the border approaches.
What's beyond the border?
You cannot see. It's out of the city. Up ahead, the mist blocks all sight. A gale blows across your cheeks. It is cold. Before you stands a tall lorry driver with sad eyes.
What's in the southwest?
Excuse me.
He emerges from the reverie. Hell, I got longing. I felt something similar since I woke up.
Man. I don't know what to say. Not much anyone can do. There's no helping in absence, you know? I miss my family. They're all I have. My wife, second kid on the way, waiting all the way in Diora. And here I am stuck in this shit, so far from home.
What's it like to miss someone?
What's it like? Good. And bad. An ache that brings you joy.
He smiles
I
warmly.
think of them a lot. I dream up these silly scenarios in great detail of living with them. It comforts me.
That's nice.
What about you, Cop Man? You missing someone?
He turns his eyes to you.
Is that what it is? This feeling? No, it's scarier than that. You're pursued by a hunter, smelling of apricots and sorrow, and the past.
I miss my gun. I lost it. I'm fine, man. I don't miss anyone. I miss someone, but I don't know who it is. No, I feel hunted. I think it's I miss someone, and I don't know who it is.
I feel for you, my friend. It's bad enough to know who you miss. Missing like that doesn't feel like it has much of an upside. But, thanks for this. It's nice to talk to someone, and I know it wasn't easy to ask. I hope you find your way through your own troubles.
He smiles. So, what are you hauling again?
High-grade narcotics.
Time to arrest him.
Wicked, I've always wanted a friend in the underworld.
Ha! No, I'm joking, my man. Found runs a nice, clean business. This haul of cargo is mostly sporting goods. You know, tracksuits and that kind of thing. They usually get shipped to Grodd and the Occident. Though we've been making headway in the Il Moran market lately.
Oh.
The man taps his fingers rhythmically against his arm.
That's all for now, my man. So, I still don't know who to talk to about the drug running in this area. But maybe that's fine. Maybe I don't need it. Can I pick this up? I'd love to be able to pick this up. Game. I have the bag equipped. Maybe if I unequip it and re-equip it. Interesting. I thought for sure that would be a thing I could pick up. It looks like something. And I had the icon for it a little bit ago. But maybe I'm wrong. You still here, man? Staring pensively or just sitting by yourself looking down?
The woman still has her eyes fixed on the photograph in her hands. In the background, the radio plays.
I'd like to ask you some questions.
No response. Wherever this woman is, your words fail to reach her.
Grandma?
Nothing. No. This one is a monster in disguise. Nothing. No.
Okay. Well, she wouldn't exist unless she has something to do. That's a weird thing to say about someone, but you know, I feel like I'm right in this case.
A lorry stuck in the windows. Fumes of heavy.
Can I pick up this? Is there something up here I can at least look through? I'd love to have some cans or bottles. I'm gonna have to spend 12 of my dollars tomorrow in order to get that boombox, so I need as much money as I can get in order to be able to pay rent tomorrow. That's going to include things like this. Take that. Take that. Take that. And since I'm here, you know.
This is the night. The chair is not as austere. The drawers are empty. You take the painkillers. They are yours now.
Take the healing items while I'm
You
here.
stand and
Now that Kim's not with me. Certainly not the best thing someone can do, but you know. I'm already here. Alright, you can I press it?
a rusting control panel with several knobs. 2 buttons marked Marsh and Arrête are faded with use. It seems to control the large crane above. A container is attached to its hook block.
Press March.
With a loud grind, the crane shifts overhead, moving a massive metal container through the air.
Fun.
And with a surprisingly this crane was built with a purpose, which has now been fulfilled. To move this container.
What's inside the container?
Who can say? All you know is, it's special.
Well, I guess I don't need to press the other button then. I really want to press that other button. I have no idea what it does.
Before you stands a cargo container, just one of many in the yard.
Hey there, sugar.
The container door appears unmoved by your attempt at flattery.
Wow.
A tough nut to crack for sure, but the strongest containers often have the softest hearts.
You're a fine piece of engineering. You know that?
The door does not respond to your advances. Is it possible that it seems somehow more closed than before? Why does this situation feel so familiar? Do you have a history of propositioning inanimate objects?
I might. Let's knock on the door.
No reply. The knock produces a hollow ring of metal. Doesn't sound like there's anything inside the container.
Well, let's try and open it.
You attempt to turn the handle, to no avail. The doors seem to be mechanically locked.
Nothing more to do here for now. Though, that does leave the possibility open for later. There's some cash. I could use that. It's $1.10. That's quite some cash. There's 2 coffee cups over here. And our friend over here.
Oh, hey, mister. I knew you'd be back to talk with old Leo here. No trouble at all, mister. No trouble at all. It's like that old saying goes, wisdom withers if not shared. And old Leo is always up for sharing.
Yeah. Are you the Leo who wrote the note to make more banners?
Oh, yes, yes. I leave all kinds of notes for myself. That old head of mine ain't so good at keeping things in no more. I almost forgot about the borscht.
The whirling special borscht.
Oh, yes. I've been taking special whirling borscht to the men every day since the strike started.
Little guy chuckles merrily.
It's very, very good. Makes a man feel so warm and happy. I feel like I could take on Mr. Renadan's boar dogs every time the lunch is done.
He shakes his head with a wide smile.
Power borscht, huh? Never heard of a borscht that turns little guys into dogfighters. Alcohol, however.
What do you mean by taking the soup to the men? Is it for the striking?
Yes, yes. I'm taking it to them. The borscht keeps them happy and in fighting spirits. Makes you all warm inside. They brew it in the whirling in rags.
Hold up. Who makes it at the whirling?
Oh, the whirling's cook. He makes it. Them is always talking with Mr. Manana in that weird language and laughing together. He doesn't speak what we speak. He's from Grad.
Ah. Looks like the borscht is spiked. I'm gonna look into it.
Oh, sure, mister. Sure. You do that. Yes, sir.
Thanks, Leia. Appreciate it. Well, that's all the, bottles over here, I guess. I don't know if I have anywhere else to explore for the sake of bottles, maybe inside that apartment complex. My only reason for doing so is because, you know, game's not here. And there's nothing else to do for the rest of the day. And might as well use the time I have when it's available. Can I get over here? I did get over there before, I think. Nope. Okay. I'm fairly sure the convenience store is closed. So we'll have to come back to that later. We also have to go into the bookstore again in order to grab what, or at least go speak to whatever that entity was. The one that is part of the shadows, you know? Hi there. Can I talk to you about that borscht?
Hola, Wandering Man. How can I help you?
Do you know anything about the Hardy Boys?
Los Ardis? They're an independent militant group. A bit too high-strung, but it comes with the responsibility.
He smiles.
They're sort of like you. Preserve the rule of law and all that. Except it's Everard's law. But really, they're just like you.
He takes a swig from his flask.
Is he actually comparing you, an officer of the law, to some neighborhood vigilantes?
Let that go.
The man whispers a jaunty tune. A coastal breeze ruffles his hair.
That weasel I visited. Turns out he has one hell of a colonial mug collection.
Yeah, the janitor who gave me the key to his apartment said the guy's a bit of an asshole.
He nods, rubbing his chin. Yeah, with some antiquated social values. See how we're all busy concentrating on the racist mugs? No. Yeah, we'll go with the first
Like I
one.
said before, I don't know much about this weasel, but the bossman said he's a real piece of work. Thanks for helping out, friend.
He touches his beret. Oh. Let's head back to the apartment complex then. I kind of want to yell at this guy. But I also don't want to talk to him. You know what kind of a divide that is, truly. Oh, I don't remember this. There's something down there. The musty smell of a potato cellar in spring emanates from the air vent. Huh. I talk to this bench? What?
You sit on the wind-worn wooden planks of the bench. Your feet ache.
Twiddle your thumbs.
The twiddling barely keeps your hands warm against the frigid wind blowing from the coast. After a while, you've had enough.
Stare into the sky.
Time passes.
As it does.
The sun draws ever closer to the horizon. The sky is a panorama of intense colors.
I mean, it is 10 o'clock at night, so I don't really know if I believe you there, but let's think some deep thoughts then.
You finally stop picking your nose.
Ah, lovely. I mean, truly. We've got nothing better to do right now. I'm perfectly fine with just sitting there, twiddling my thumbs, looking up into the sky and picking my own nose. Ooh, a thing. $2. Hell yeah. I got $20 now. That's serious cash. This wall was a conceptualization check. Not anything I needed at the moment. I can, however, go here again. Let's see what things I have better access to seeing now that I have a higher perception score. Book. 16 Days of Coldest April. Interesting. Waves crashing in the darkness. I don't know why they chose such a weirdly horrific song for the apartment complex, but hey, it's effective, I guess. Oh, can I take these shoes? I can just look inside them. But this bust, can I talk to you now?
A plaster cast bust depicts a middle-aged man with impressive sideburns. The name on the plinth reads, Kraz Marzov.
Father Mazov, hero of the working class.
A warm feeling fills you as you look into Marzov's marble eyes. The hallway behind the door is empty. No one else heard your courageous salute.
A communard lives in these rooms.
A poor communard, from the looks of it. The room is barely bigger than the closet.
Oh, that's fine. As long as it has what you need. Is there anything more back here? Oh. There is. Magnesium and Commodore Red. Moss crawls on those bathroom tiles. Actual moss. There's something back there. But I have no way of accessing it. There's something I can talk to. I feel like I have multiple interfacing checks that I need to be able to make, but I don't remember where they are. You're distant traffic. Night is falling on the city. The maroon glow of light pollution rises from the east. The curtains shift. Just a little. Someone's watching from within. Thank 15 cents. Here's that room. Interesting. So this is the room that I want to go with Kim tomorrow. The light's on inside though, to meet up with the balcony smoker. There's nothing in here now. So let's just head out this way then. Our good friend Claire Danger is still sitting here, waiting. Sitting in the darkness of this furnace, is there anything? 100 tiny feet, scurrying beneath the grate. The rats of the city. Lovely. I love that for them. When did that happen? I must have ended the rate.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
It's actually just me right now. Is that bed in the coal room yours?
Oh, not only have you found my address, you've discovered my biggest secret. I'm a coal miner.
Gotta send somebody a message. Didn't realize I got something until now. Oh, maybe I'll just pop into there later. I realized just now that somebody raided me yesterday, but I think they raided me just as I was ending my stream yesterday, so the two just kind of collided into each other. Funny how that works sometimes.
She does have eyes that seem to be smeared with coal.
Really? You're a miner?
Yes. I keep hoping a shaft will collapse on me, but somehow it never happens.
Must be too good of a coal miner then. Does you have a real home?
Does anyone in a city like this?
She replies wistfully, looking around.
If there's pain about any particular home she's lost, she's buried it deep, fortified herself against it.
It's not the nicest place, but I guess it'll have to do.
It doesn't have to do anything at all. Nothing does. Like me. Right now, I'm doing nothing at all.
She looks at the paint dripping down the wall. Cool. I have other questions.
Shoot, Piggy. It's...
Catch you later, Cindy. Appreciate your candor. Oh, I mean, I'm here. And is the lady still on her boat? I don't think she is. She is. Might as well talk about the other things I have.
More lessons in basic reality?
Yes, please.
My favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything.
What is this acute encephalopathy? Encephalopathy?
It's a neurological disorder caused by a lack of vitamin B in the brain. Symptoms include a retrograde amnesia. It's quite serious. You should get yourself checked out.
Lovely.
She conveys it in short, cold bursts, trying not to invest too deeply in the condition of this doomed detective.
What causes encephalopathy? Encephalopathy.
Well, it's either bariatric surgery or long-term alcohol use.
Ah, that's definitely the drinking.
She nods slowly. What this boils down to is, this reality thing is stupid. Blow this joint, grab a bottle, and drain that shit right down your throat.
No thanks.
Yes, and perform autoerotic asphyxiation on yourself with your funny necktie, out in the open somewhere.
Wipe that urge from your mind and get back to reality.
She stares at you, head tilted to the side, with a slightly concerned look on her face.
What was the RCM again?
Nothing more nor less than the de facto law enforcement body of post-revolutionary
It's a de facto.
That means not de jure. The RCM acts in what is...
All right.
Permit me to conclude with this. And if those authorities drink so hard they need help recalling
And
the basic...
what are you?
What I am not is a basic term of reality.
She smiles.
Everyone wants to talk about themselves. She will, in time.
Then what's this?
A bird? A sphenicid? A flightless bird of the polar regions?
She tilts her head. Keep guessing.
Some sort of krill hunter? No, wait. You're an ancient ruin. A symbol of hubris and decay. Half submerged in some salty sea.
Joyce raises her eyebrows. Are you saying I'm ruined?
Of course you're not, my dear. I'm just terrible at guessing games.
Ah, I meant what is this place here?
Ah. This is the pier of Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A, where the tenants have been kind enough to rent me a slot.
Excuse me. She spreads her arms almost as wide.
Or two.
Oh, she looks around. What is Rue du Saint-Ghislain? Rue du Saint-Ghislain? Ghislain? 33A.
A pre-revolutionary tenement. Old buildings are called tenements, you see. And new buildings, bâtiments. After les bâtiments nouveaux. But 33A and 33B are not nouveaux. They're old.
She looks up at the crumbling facade.
This one used to be 8 to 10 stories tall. A real high-rise by the standards of the last century. Built to mirror the skyscrapers across the bay in the Delta. That was before the war, of course.
Who lived in them?
Mostly the urban middle class, I believe. This was once primo real estate, before the cannons lopped 4 or 5 stories off. Splat, splat.
From a dilapidated balcony, Cindy the Skull gives Joyce the evil eye. A red paintbrush held to her throat.
You could be wrong, but from here it appears as if she's running the brush across her throat in a soaring motion.
Lovely.
Wonderful.
What is that? Point to Cindy the Skull.
The girl in the old lady rags.
Yeah.
Looks like a sullen and rebellious member of a teen infraculture.
Infraculture?
Yes, you and I belong to the supraculture. We're common, the herd. The music on the radio, the food in the chain restaurant, those are all too popular for the girl in the old lady rags.
Ah.
She prefers a fantasy world, an infraculture with its own dress code and vernacular. It is an illusion, I'm afraid. There is no refuge from the supraculture.
The infraculture will only exist contextually to the supraculture. I understand everything, but make it somehow more complicated.
I can't.
Oh.
That's how simple it is. One may dye their hair green and wear their grandma's coat all they want. Capital has the ability to subsume all critiques into itself. Even those who would critique capital end up reinforcing it instead.
Ah, yes. Zizek.
All right.
Classic stuff.
Next. Glad to have been of assistance.
Well, that's truly everything I had to ask you. I don't feel as bad about doing it now that Kim isn't here to make me feel bad about it. I looked through here. I didn't have this option before.
This coin-operated viewer is facing southwest. Its coin slot is full of fossilized bubblegum, rendering the machine permanently inaccessible.
Poor little viewer. Pattern on
The
top of
metal
it.
feels cold and wet under your palm. It looks unhygienic.
Look inside.
A thick layer of graffito covers the lenses. You spell out the word Onug written on the other side, with N and C scribbled backwards.
Shift your focus to the background.
Under the graffito, a sea of blues and greys appear. Behind the water lies a coast studded with concrete and reeds. On it, a church on stilts, lanky weather-worn wooden planks, an X-shaped cross topping its tower.
Lovely.
The church looks old and weather-worn. There are no lights in the windows. Around the large wooden building, you see chunks of sea ice gathered on the beach, and a small tent set up on the ice.
Interesting. Vandalism.
The
Take your head.
mute machine is unable to confirm or deny your theory.
Leave. Huh. Did I just hear something? Or is that the sound of this like, lamppost that I'm standing next to? I did have this book I just picked up. And I did get this note that I didn't read from the fridge. A handwritten note you found from the giant ice bear fridge. It still bears some marks from the fruit-shaped kitchen magnets that were used to carry to the refrigerator door.
The note is written with a blue pencil on a piece of lined office paper. The kitchen magnets have left spots on its surface.
Read the note.
Someone has scribbled, S. I can't believe the off-site copy is still here. The illiterate ginger kid keeps stealing stuff from the studio, so I had to hide it somewhere safe. You'll find the filament memory with the off-site copy in the frozen ice cream maker. Please take it home, ASAP. It's important. I'd do it myself if I lived in a civilized place with a freezer. Take care, Suliswav.
Who wrote that note?
According to the note, someone named Sulislav.
It's a filament
The
memory.
note doesn't specify.
The illiterate ginger
The
kid.
note does not. Are you serious? You sure you don't want to hazard a guess here, detective?
Oh, you mean Kuno.
Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner.
Where's the frozen ice cream
Didn't
maker?
you see one right next to the breaker box?
I did. Let's check out this book then. 16 Days of Coldest April. The cover features a row of concrete buildings with a monochrome rainbow in the sky. It tells a rather excruciating story about two lovers during a period of ethnic unrest in Yugograd. The book has been filed under psychological realism.
In your hands, you hold 16 Days of Coldest April by Yekaterina Dahl. The cover image shows a row of concrete apartments above which span a black and white rainbow.
Feels heavy.
Indeed, the book is unusually heavy in your hands, as though the cover were lined with lead. It would do that in Grad.
How long is this book anyway?
You flip through the book. The pages are thinner than you realized, and the type quite small and tightly set. It's nearly 600 pages long.
Look at the back cover.
The back cover is dominated by a black and white photograph of the author.
What does she look like?
She can't be much older than her mid-30s in this photograph, and yet, from this cover, the eyes of a sad old woman stare back at you.
Start reading.
In cold, detached prose, the author describes a scene from one of the Yugograd riots in the 20s. Youths overturned motor carriages and set trash cans ablaze, while heavily armored guardsmen dash in and disperse them in a flurry of baton blows. As ethnic tensions run wild, a pair of young lovers meet each other on the street. Somehow, in the middle of all the chaos, They manage to lock arms and look into each other's eyes.
What happens next?
It would physically hurt you to keep reading. Are you sure?
Yeah. I want to read 10 more pages.
They go through a brief and somewhat awkward love affair. And in the end, they betray each other and succumb to the absurdity of Gradian life. The man becomes a lens grinder, completely abandoning his former existence. He toils through the daily drudgery at the Lenka Polyfabricate. Happiness and fulfillment have eluded him his whole life. And in the end, he has nothing to do but dedicate himself to the craft.
And the woman?
She spends the next several decades standing at a conveyor in a Sosnovo fish processing plant. The smell of fish guts slowly seeps into her hair and skin, as every single one of her dreams dies, one by one. The memory of their short time spent together tortures the former lovers ceaselessly until the end of their days. Years pass in solitude, their bodies growing ever more decrepit.
That's terrible.
As life leaves their remains between the soil sheets, their final thoughts are filled with regret.
Let's put the book away then. Well, that's fun. Glad I did that today. Wait, gonna go recover all my health in a second. First I want to go see if I can interact with that ice maker that the note was talking us about. Because I remember that being there. I remember I wasn't able to click on it, but I was able to interact with it through the breaker box.
This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and an electric freezer. The ice around it slowly melting.
Turn the ice cream crank.
Turning the crank feels oddly satisfying, like stirring your childhood dreams. In the distance, you hear water dripping. It's all gone now. You'll never become a poet or an entrepreneur.
That's fine.
What better to assuage the creeping sense of failure than some frozen fat and sugar?
Try to crack open the lid.
You slip your fingers under the frozen lid, but the ice is too cold for you to get a good grip. If you want to try again,
I have to go grab that pry bar. Put it in my hands.
this orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and an electric freezer. The ice around it slowly melting.
The machine's unplugged and I have a better grip with gloves, but the pry bar I have is not strong enough. Let's crack open the lid though.
The ice squeaks beneath the pry bar. You think you've got the bar jammed in there pretty well, but the lid simply won't budge.
What is this?
You see the pry bar's metal handle bending right before your very eyes. That's a good pry bar, but this ice cream maker is frozen shut. It takes an advanced tool to get it open, some kind of super pry bar. You have no idea where to get one. Sooner or later, you will stumble upon a tool mighty enough. Then we will know what's in this mysterious ice cream maker.
Lovely. Then I'll come back to you later. For now, sleep. For those who can savor a few moments of it. There's a little bird up here. I keep seeing it every time I come to this loading screen. It's there, hanging in the clouds. Everybody's gone. So I'll head upstairs. Don't want to bother anyone else. Truly, truly. Can I get into Kim's room? Kinda curious. No. Be fun though. Allow me to try and go to sleep again then.
The bed is still cold from the broken window, and not too inviting. But it's yours. You've earned it.
Go to sleep.
The bed is still cold from the wind blowing in from the broken window. The mattress creaks as you close your eyes and try your hardest to fall asleep.
Here we are again, my broken bud. The waves are coming, carrying you away. But you can't go. No, you have to stay. Always half aware of yourself.
I can remember sleeps like this. I have them quite often.
You're not cooperating, brother man.
Why?
It's your disgusting body. Even through your sleep, you feel a vague discomfort suffusing it. Your belly and your sides are unpleasantly tender. You wish you could curl up into a fetal ball of safety. But you cannot, because of the pain.
Interesting.
And there's a lot of it, ever present in your organs. It's like every one of them has their own nasty song to sing. Every cell in your body is moaning in agony, asking, what did we ever do to you?
I'm sorry, Sal. It's all me. It's all my fault. It's all my system's fault. The system failed me. This body's worthless anyway. No one does anything nice to it. I think we would say it's either...
Now.
we'll apologize.
You're finally thinking about something other than yourself. Let's see how far that'll get you.
These are my just desserts. I will endure this pain with dignity. No, please. Where is that blessed nothingness, that sweet oblivion? I'm an artist, and liver damage is my art. I think I might need medical attention. I think we deserve this. I think after everything we've done, all those little things were just hanging out on this, like the background of our mind, digging deeper every so often.
There's no dignity here. Only reflections of your body mass. Flashes of the day. You keep coming back to yourself in the mirror. But why? To admire all your accomplishments?
Yeah.
You're just stuck here, in the half-world. Could try looking at other people. Really looking. But why would you want to start doing that?
I will. I'm looking at people all the time, and I like them.
Sure you do. They're all so friendly, aren't
You
they?
don't have to be friendly.
People are beautiful, statuesque, parodies and tragedies of themselves. A great democracy of creatures.
What do you think you're doing right now? Coming to some greater awareness? Look at all these lights, blinking in and out of existence. Thoughts! You're just pretending that you're asleep, even to yourself, while the world goes on without you.
Truly, we are the apes of Elysium.
Let it. Let it.
But it never seems to let you go, does it? Time to rise and wipe that shining sweat off as best you can. Gather your bearings. Rock and roll.
Open your eyes. I'll pick up that bottle. I cannot. Worth a shot, though. Venture forward. 15 degrees centigrade. Dull. I think there are bottles in Clausia's room. What was her name again? I think I'm calling her Claudia, but I think she has an actual different name. Who are you? Good morning.
Yes?
I found out what the pail was while you were gone.
Wonderful. What is your takeaway?
You does not seem surprised. Wait, you're not surprised?
I can't stop a grown man from learning about the fundamental geographic and anthropogenic features of our world, can I?
Perhaps I should have tried, he thinks.
Seems unreal.
It all seems unreal, detective. In actuality, the pale is no more unreal than, say, water or death. Or that we are stuck behind our eyes, between our own ears, talking.
He looks around, pensive suddenly.
Excuse me, large topics are not my forte. You seem stable enough. Keep it that way. Now, was there anything else, or should we get to it?
Why did the 41st send me? I have items for this. I can make this an easier check. Give me 1 second. Sorry, Kim. What are the most logical clothes that I own? Half-light, authority, rhetoric. +1 logic, glasses. Conceptualization. Drama. Signal blue naval coat.
Yes?
It's a 42% though. That's pretty good. Why did the 41st send me?
Look at you. It's because you're a failure. They sent you to Slight, Precinct 57.
What? No, that can't be right. Yeah, that makes more sense than the other stuff I thought of.
Just think about it for a second. You're a raging alcoholic who showed up 3 days late and argues with his necktie. You weren't sent here to win.
Kim, what if my precinct sent me on this case because I'm a fuck up? Like, as a joke.
I've considered it.
His voice is somber. So it's true.
It would be immensely ugly of them, not to mention unprofessional, but I also think it's somewhat unlikely.
Why is that?
I checked the records. This jurisdiction dispute, who polices Martinez, reaches back to the 30s. It's as old as my station. And all this time we can't decide who gets Martinez? I think, yes, both stations would prefer a win.
Do you think I see me as a safe bet?
Safe? No. But you're old. You've made it this far. Something has brought you through. We've only just started working together, so I don't know what it is yet. But it's there. So no, I don't think they sent you as a joke. And even if they did, they are in for a surprise.
Thank you, Kim.
He's right. There are no airtight theories, just paranoia. You've given it some thought. Now let it go.
Alright. Let me put on my normal glasses now, so I don't look as much of a joke to everybody. Figure out who y'all are. Actually, let me say it first. If I remember, this conversation's a bit of a doozy.
The woman in an RCM patrol officer's uniform winces as she notices you.
I would really prefer not to talk to you right now.
A
Alright.
patrol officer is the lowest rank in the RCM, below lieutenant and sergeant.
Fine. You're a patrol officer of the RCM, right?
Yes, I am.
I'm on a murder investigation. Are you the cavalry?
I'm definitely not the cavalry.
Okay. Everything alright? Why don't you want to talk to me? Fine, I'm leaving.
Okay.
Looks like she's about to add something, but then she changes her mind. If I quite recall, I want to talk to this man first.
Shit.
Your ruffled face reflects in the man's sunglasses.
And I don't mean that as a metaphor.
I know. It's intentional. Last couple of days have been rough. Looks don't matter, it's what's on the inside that does.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm going by here.
Ah.
Oh, come on, Jean. It looks like it's been a rough week on him.
The woman next to him sighs.
It's not just this week. What you want?
He scans you from head to toe.
Don't even try to win him over. You won't.
There's something strange about this guy. Figure it out.
You know what it is. It's like the two of you know each other. Just ask him.
Tell me the truth. Do you know me from somewhere?
Oh, I definitely know you from somewhere.
Another life.
From where? Another life?
Yes, from another life. A different life. Maybe the life of a police officer belonging to the ranks of the...
He pauses.
To what station do you think you would belong in this alternate and totally fictional reality?
41st.
Okay. That's plausible. That's entirely plausible. Now we're really getting somewhere.
He gives you a long, meaningful look and adds,
Somewhere good.
let's talk about this hypothetical Station 41 that you mentioned. Oh, hypothetical 41. Yes, let's fantasize about that. He blinks aggressively. I'm not busy. You're not busy. Let's just play around. So, what would our relationship be in this alternate universe?
Let's be crazy. Let's say you and I are partners. How's that for a thought experiment?
You seem like a cool guy. I'd love to have you as my partner. I do kind of want to say Kim's cooler than you. I'll go with this one.
Would you now? Or would I be cramping your style?
The man bites his
Never
lip,
mind.
then waves his
Partner.
hand. Actually, I shouldn't have called you my partner. Kim's my partner. He's gonna know.
I'm not your partner. This union is temporary.
He says quickly.
A little premonition for you, Lieutenant. Sooner or later, probably sooner, your new friend tells you he doesn't need you. He will then suggest you should fuck off.
Interesting that I would have suggested that you fuck off, and yet you are here, not having fucked off.
When that happens, I suggest you take his advice.
He adds bitterly.
The lieutenant merely bows his head in response.
Do you have a crime to solve, then? Oh, no. No. You see, I enjoy watching other, better cops solve crimes. Let me tell you, it's been quite a privilege seeing you work.
This isn't helping.
She says, shaking her head, looking at the man with sunglasses disapprovingly. Who else is in our imaginary police station?
You're not going to believe this, but police officers.
The man pauses for dramatic effect. Now, as far as I understand, that's not true.
Yes, sir. Solving crimes, locking up bad guys, and get this, and not getting that drink on at 2 o'clock.
Ah,
Just some regular boring motherfuckers in suits and uniforms. Nothing spectacularly extravagant like you, the far-out son of Lung.
who is the far-out son of Lung? Oh, it's interesting that all the opening lines for this character are just not properly triggering. Oh, it's you, you eccentric genius. He winks at you, sarcastically. I mean, with your unorthodox approach to police work, it has to be you. Want to tell me more about him, or her?
Not even a little bit.
Wow.
It's an urban myth about an officer who is so far undercover he can't remember who he is. As I said, just an urban myth. You are not the son of Lang.
Lieutenant says quietly.
He's trying to protect you from further rough handling, dished out by this sunglassed man.
I can't imagine it anymore.
Neither can I, partner. Neither can I.
His gray eyes suddenly flash above the glass frames. They feel sad.
It's a mere second, but it feels like you saw something. A gram of compassion in that sadness.
Kim, who is this guy?
I'm not getting involved in this.
He shakes his head.
It's not my style, he thinks, glancing at the man in sunglasses and the woman beside him. Oh boy, they're mad at him. No wonder. He just doesn't recognize them.
Got some questions for you. I'm a cop.
About what? You don't look like a cop. You know what you look like?
He inspects you. Like a prophet, like a revolutionary, like a sack of shit, like a megastar. I don't know, you tell me. Like a man down his luck, I'm trying real hard here, man. I'll go with like a prophet.
Not the prophet shit again.
He looks away.
He didn't answer your question.
Now, will you answer some questions for me?
No.
Don't you have to?
No, he doesn't.
If I wasn't clinically depressed, I'd burst out laughing. But I'm gonna go with no right now.
He doesn't look amused. If you don't want to answer questions, maybe you want to hear me say things. I mean, there'd be no other reason for you to be here then. Actually, I don't want to hear you say
Come
things.
on, Jean.
Okay, say things. I want to hear you say things.
He adopts a lighter tone.
Hear that? He wants you to say things. Say one. Suddenly, out of nowhere, case-related things start popping up in your head.
Okay, I'm doing this investigation. It turns out he was shot and hanged.
You think he was hanged as a cover-up? To hide the shooting?
Basically, yeah.
Okay, well...
He corrects his blonde wig. His hair. He corrects his hair. Why am I telling you this?
I don't know. Why are you?
He gives you an odd look.
Who knows why we do the things we do? Somehow, bouncing those ideas off the man with sunglasses felt calming. Like you've done it before.
Oh my god, there's more. You want something more? What is it?
He looks at you in disbelief. Let's talk about the hanged man again.
Okay, why not? Let's do the... You
Done
think
this
he
one.
was hanged as a cover-up? Okay. Well, I don't know. Oh my god, there's
Okay, then.
more.
See you around.
Watch out for yourself.
That voice, so very familiar. Did you hear it when calling to your station and reporting your badge missing?
Your voice. I recognize it.
Oh really? I wonder where.
I lost my badge recently. When I called him to report it missing, you were there.
That's the where you remember me from?
I'm having a bit of memory trouble.
You don't say. Goodbye then. The voice thing was a coincidence. Run along, asshole.
He turns away from you.
Okay, the man with the sunglasses and his hypothetical Station 41. Weird, right?
No, this whole interaction was perfectly normal.
There's something missing here. Something you can't put our finger on. You know what? Just ask him. I know it sounds crazy, and you'll probably get laughed at. But still.
I was thinking the same thing. I should just ask him if we're from the same station.
Yes, just cross it off the list. It's probably not true, though.
Again? I can't believe this shit.
He shakes his head, looking like he's really having trouble believing this shit. Look, I just have to ask, are we from the same police station?
I'm going to say no. Just to see what you'll say to that. What'd you say?
Yeah, probably not. I don't remember you from anywhere. Okay.
Okay.
Jean, he said okay. Give it a rest.
Okay, I was clearly wrong. He is a firefighter, male nurse, animal control agent, something of that kind. Not a cop. Go on with
Okay. I'll talk to her
the
though.
woman in and out.
I would really prefer...
A patrol officer is the lowest rank in the RCM.
Is everything alright?
Hello,
Why don't you want to
I
talk?
don't know. I mean, why would I want to talk to you?
Have I wronged you? I've done that a lot. People. It's cool to see another cop. I thought Kim and I were the only ones. I don't know. I don't know why. I'm just trying to do my best. I'm a deeply flawed individual, but I bring joy to this world. Let's just do this by the book, okay? Why? I bring word of the end to come. I'd say I'm a deeply flawed individual, but I'm trying my best.
Do you now?
She asks, narrowing her eyes. After a moment, she shakes her head.
Something changes in her. It's pity. Pity comes over her.
Okay, fine. Let's talk. What did you want?
So, what precinct are you from?
What precinct?
She just sighs.
Am I from? God, he doesn't know.
Fucking deranged lunatic.
Look, something's really bugging me. Are we not from the same police station?
God damn it, you leave her alone. Keep your weird bullshit to yourself and be professional for once, for fuck's sake.
You're the man over here wearing sunglasses and a fake wig. I don't want to hear this from you.
Can I actually help you with something?
She looks at you, apologetically.
Yes, of course. Preposterous. I mean, you would remember if they were, right? Who forgets their squad mates? That's not possible.
Are you with him?
Of course I'm with him. Why do you ask?
She seems startled by her own tone. He seems like a cool guy.
Well, he's not. He's a sack of shit barely kept together by crazy glue. But at least he tries. Unlike you.
Please, let's not turn this into another exchange, okay?
Okay then. Goodbye. I guess I'll just go talk to the cook.
The man ponders his cooking utensils and gives you a little nod, acknowledging your presence.
Leo said you're friends with Manana. Is that true?
The mention of mañana gets his attention. He smiles and delivers a whole slew of unfamiliar words and lively gestures. Then he falls silent again.
As you are wont to do.
They're friends?
What's in that borscht you're making there? Point to the large pot.
The man says a couple of sentences in that strange language of his, and then seems to wait for you to speak.
Yes?
Borscht need more vodka?
He picks up a bottle from the shelf.
Okay, so it's vodka that keeps the men happy and in good spirits.
He nods.
Clever move by the Union.
Is it clever to just get your entire workforce very drunk?
Vodka borscht! I love it, Bratan! Turn it the fuck up and then ask for some yourself.
No thanks, Necktie.
Turning it up seems like a dangerous idea, honestly. The place is a powder keg.
No vodka. Cut it.
The cook gives you a long, disappointed look, then turns the stove off and seems to wait for you to speak.
I don't think I need anything else. Say masculine. That's a weird thing to say to someone again. Oh. We've got to go listen to a tape. In order to do that, we've got to buy a boombox. So, let's go do that. Sit in that chair again. Oh, can I pick that up? No. It's a coffee cup. I need money. So they put out a patch recently for the game, and it's really bumped up the loading times. It's actually great. Like last week it was like 4 minutes in order to like launch the game, and this time it only took like 20 seconds. So good. I'm so happy about that. Because it also means these other like internal loading times are
wait on the shelves,
much shorter.
And your boombox, that gold and amber Harmon Waushi, stares at you longingly with its tape reel eyes.
Thanks for the discount, man. Here's the money for the boombox.
And here you are. Quality sound reproduction on the go. It'll play anything, wherever. Turn any tape into a conversation of sounds and shapes.
Appreciate it. Let's, do it, I guess. That's a good look. Where's my tape? Let's interact. Magnetic tape acquired from Titus Hardy. It supposedly holds a recording of the Mercenary Task Force radio communications recorded via a de-encryption station. Not a good omen. Requires a boombox to play.
The porter reel is just what you needed. The reels attach to the apparatus with a satisfying click. The tape is rooted behind the magnetic reader.
Play the tape. You push commencer, and the tape starts spinning. Violent static and machine sounds fill the air.
This isn't Revachol. This is a fucking village. I can almost see the elephants.
A man's voice says, another loud screech, some kind of machinery.
The harbor. That's the son of a Kvalson crane.
Lieutenant takes out a notebook.
When this shit is done, I'm gonna tear that place up. Soldier of the Apocalypse style. Kill shit. Dogs and chickens too.
Interesting that you were adding dogs and chickens to the kill shit list. More static.
Gonna run a room, Cordy. A real nice one. I don't give a shit. I'm fucking done. I'm done mentally.
The middle section is unintelligible.
I'll fucking do them all in. Rape that disco cunt on the counter. You know, the dance a whore upstairs. Do it Kohoi style.
Ah, never mind.
Never did get that taste out of my mouth.
A click. Then silence. The rest of the tape is empty.
The lieutenant presses the button marked Arete on your porter reel. The tape stops spinning.
What was that at the very end? Silence.
End of recording.
What do you think?
It seemed authentic enough. Probably recorded off the shortwave, then edited to seem more incriminating. He sounded like he was on patrol around the harbor walls.
I agree, but he also sounded inebriated.
Still.
Lieutenant looks at the tape. You're familiar with this look now. It's his look of suspicion.
There's more going on here than we know.
Who's this Cordy?
One of the other mercenaries, I think. The one he was talking to. A friend of his?
What's Kohoi?
A village on the Samaran Isola, in South Safre. Grad committed war crimes there, the kind of thing he talks about.
You think he was there?
Who knows? Maybe the tattoos would have an answer. Or maybe Kohoi is just merc talk for atrocity, slaughter.
Okay then. What now? Remove the tape.
I think we've got a few more questions for class here, don't you? This seems to contradict her testimony, at least to some degree.
He looks around.
As you take out the tape, the boombox tunes itself back to the cheery radio again, spewing out beats like it's a Friday night.
I love that for us.
The contrast feels chilly, inappropriate even.
Surely it does. But to make things even more inappropriate, let me equip this plastic bag so I can pick up recyclables and sell them later. Oh, this shirt is 80 cents, wasn't it?
What a shirt. All other shirts pale in comparison to the muscular man with antlers and immense Zweihanders.
+1 physical instrument, +1 shivers, -2 authority. I don't know. That seems pretty decent. I already have a +1 physical instrument shirt though, and I don't think I ever actually need +1 shivers, like on command. And I do need $2. I'm desperately in need of $2. Let's just continue our sad journey back to the bookstore. I never actually walked around with a boombox equipped. This is great. Oh, hell yeah. I'm sure the bookstore won't mind us walking in. Blasting beats. Let me look at these books over here.
The display rack is brimming with worn paperbacks featuring an extremely muscular, sword-wielding barbarian on the cover. Nearly all the titles contain the word Heimdall somewhere.
Wow, more Heimdall.
Mountains of it. Heroic quantities of Heimdall. Roy's puny shirt is nothing compared to the real deal.
Right, look to the display.
Rows and rows of Heimdall men blur your vision. You make out some titles. Man from Heimdall and the Mammoth Riders. Man from Heimdall, Return to Heimdall. And the solipsistic Man from Heimdall and the Heimdall Man.
Good God, how many of these are there?
Maybe 100. Man from Heimdall and the sages at the end of the world. Man from Heimdall and the false god. Man from Heimdall and the scorched earth. Man from Heimdall, the Heimdall colonies. Man from Heimdall and the swamp beast. Man from Heimdall and the snow crabs. Those snow crabs are worse than they sound.
Is that all?
Not even close. Man from Heimdall in hell. Man from Heimdall and the forest of slaves. Man from Heimdall under the lake. Man from Heimdall, Heimdall burning. There's even The Trial of Death, a pastoral combat gamebook set in the world of Heimdallaman, and so much more.
Okay, do any of these books call out to me? Got a 72% chance on this.
A twinge at the back of your head makes you flinch. Your eye starts twitching.
Ow.
Your hand reaches toward a book with glossy cover art of the very muscular Man from Heimdall in chains, kneeling in front of a staircase leading to a throne. A woman sits on the throne, leering at the man. She's laughing at him, belittling him. Between the throne and the Hyundala man lies a bonfire, casting shadows on the wall. The shadow of the woman's headdress looks like a pair of devil horns. The title reads, Man from Hyundal and the Devil Woman.
Interesting.
The display rack before you is burdened under piles of Man from Hyundal novels.
Yeah, I'd rather not spend $9 on that book. For several reasons. Click done, will it show me this? No, I've not done the officer profile thing just yet. I haven't clicked on this either.
A small mountain of colorful board game boxes. There are numerous types of games for all ages. A lot of shelf space seems to be taken up by Wirral-related merchandise.
Look through the pile of Wirral-related items.
An endless variety of source books, lore books, and codices litter the table. The topmost book is titled Welkin Compendium, 2nd edition. There's also a large hardbound tome with intricate cover art, The Hunters of Katawak, Boreal Creature Compendium, and a Pick Your Path adventure game book titled Tales of Wirral, Cavern of Velkrag.
Anything that really catches my eye?
There's a box that says Wirral, 3rd edition Mega Setting Supplements Module. The side panel notes, a fantastique adventure board game, new maps and miniatures. A sticker on it displays 25 real. Nonsense for anemic Beano clods.
Yes, but also I don't have enough money to buy it. This source book, this D&D book, costs more than a day's worth of rent at the hotel. Starkeep, what board games do you have here?
Wonderful board games, sir. The Viticulturist is a classic for sure, or perhaps you'd like Archipelagos of Insulinda, a very educational game for those interested in geography.
You know, I bought Viticulture, the game that Viticulturist is like a parody of, and I never played it. It's sitting in my parents' laundry room because I bought it as oh hey, let's all play a board game together, and then we looked at the instruction books and they were not interested in it. I'll play that game eventually.
Browbritter is a fun game of economic competition, but can get quite intense after a while. We have games for the whole family. You can play with your children.
You accused me of not even looking like a father earlier,
Who
man.
are you going to play board games with? Do you have friends or family?
Do I have friends? Look at the lieutenant.
Are you actually friends? Or just colleagues thrown together by circumstance?
Look at me. I don't feel as if I have any kids.
Friends are technically like family.
She fiddles her pendant, thinking.
For playing with friends, I'd recommend Suzerainty. It's a civilization building game where you build a civilization, then set off to brutally colonize and repress other civilizations. It'll cost 12 real.
I don't think I want to play that game. What about all these Wirral things?
Lousy auras there. No, role-playing games are popular among those types. You know, who are into those kind of things. Personally, I don't like it. Not at all.
What if I were to tell you that you're trapped within a role-playing game?
I've heard they turn people into occult enthusiasts. That they have rituals where they try to summon entities. Highly immoral stuff. You can still buy them though.
She looks at the table, crossing her arms. I guess I'll leave then. I have to equip the flashlight. This next section anyway. No sane person would ever put their head into such a machine. Merely looking at the unmanly haircut threatens your masculinity. Weird. I don't know if I clicked a lot of masculinity options, but I guess I do have decent physical scores, just based off the kind of character I have. I wonder. Right. My physical instrument is still too low to do that. So we are just bound for the back there. As one is wont to do. Wait, there's a way to the back area over there. I don't quite remember how to get there. But it's not into the basement that I just entered. Let me go back up. It's not what I want to do either.
Yes?
Nothing, sorry Kim. Clicking that will let me find my way through this passage. It's just this doorway over here. Oh, there's a whole lot of stuff going on over here. For example, this postcard La Delta. The floorboards creak. Shoes in a puddle of melting snow. That means they're freshly worn. Oh, hello. This tray is full of dice. Colorful, polyhedral dice. Hundreds of them. The candy dispenser has been repurposed to contain thousands of dice. Wow.
Hello, I'm Nia.
A bird-like woman sits on a throne of tools, with emerald light shining through her hair.
Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Melius.
She taps on her headphones.
So what kind of die are you looking for?
Could this be the malicious entity? Perhaps it's wise to go along with this masquerade for now.
Hold on, what do you mean by Milius? You must have me confused with someone else. I haven't knocked on your window. Why are you asking me about dice? Move on. Hold on, what do you mean by Milius?
Yes, Amelia is like a call-in station. You need a two-way radio to access one. That's why I have these.
She pats the headphones on the table.
Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages. But some of the stations can be quite interesting. I was so absorbed, I must have missed you knocking.
You must have me confused with someone else. I haven't knocked on your window.
Then how did you get inside? By the south entrance? You know what? It doesn't even matter. What matters is that you're finally here. Let's talk dice. Did you have something specific in mind?
Yeah, why are you asking me about dice?
I'm a novelty dice maker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system and I'll make the die you need. That's why you're here, yes?
As she speaks, her bone-like fingers fiddle with a ring. Her bones light, but her hands strong.
Sure, I like role-playing games and I need some dice. Maybe, I'm not really sure why I'm here, honestly. No, I'm always looking for something else. Squint your eyes mysteriously. Answers. Maybe. I'm not really sure why I'm
How
here.
strange. Well, if you're interested, my rate is 10 real per set. Unless you want something really unusual.
I might want something really unusual.
Take a look around and see if there's any particular stone you want to use.
The walls around her are covered with rows of precious stones and minerals.
This person means you, or no one else, absolutely no harm. She will answer freely and honestly.
How'd you become a dice maker?
How did I become one? It was a business decision. I was a regular jeweler at first, but that's an unfocused field with too much competition. Some of my friends were role players. They asked me to make some polyhedral dice out of cobalt. That was my first order. I grew it from there.
Do you like role-playing games yourself?
Not especially. I like working with rare materials and a steady pay.
Wow.
And role players as customers? They're nice people.
They are nice people occasionally. Hi, Lithid, how you doing? I know you're streaming later, so thanks for stopping by.
She's thankful for the security they provide her.
Okay. What do you know about the man who was lynched behind the whirling in rags?
Nothing really. I didn't know him.
Who cares about the dead body? We might be dealing with a malignant entity here. The lieutenant looks at his notebook, then the woman under the large window.
Your window looks directly onto the courtyard. You're saying you didn't see or hear anything unusual last Sunday evening?
I'm excited to see what those emits that you decided to get are, because I imagine they have to integrate well with the tentacle things, the little squid stuff. I'll also have to download better Twitch TV.
I'm sorry, detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window.
What do you mean daily ruckus?
Well, there's always something going on in the Whirling's backyard.
She stops to try and come up with an example.
During daytime, there are usually those kids. And lately, I've been seeing a lot of drunk workers hanging about. Must be because of the strike.
They're gonna be on better Twitch TV? You don't know yet. They're just faces, so you hope so. I mean, yeah, I guess anything kind of works in that center spot. I mean, if you're gonna do them on better Twitch TV, you could get like, make that one tentacle arm that goes to the right like this one. Just like put a knife in it. Just give it a knife. That'd be fun.
She's not sorry to disappoint you.
But I guess I could do that myself.
Informing on someone in a murder investigation would intrude upon her focused existence.
But I never saw anyone during that fateful Sunday night, I'm afraid.
She looks up at the window. Pale light comes in. You never took off your ties off the work to look out your window?
I might have, but in this case, all I would have seen is my own reflection staring back from the darkness.
Oh my god, that slug is incredible. It just works so well with the octopus arms.
It's really hard to make anything out in the yard when it's dark outside. Besides, I rarely get up to look out the window when I'm in the zone.
Oh.
This person values focus above all. She keeps her sharp sight on the instruments before her.
Do you often work Sunday nights?
It's an odd profession, making dice for people, but I like it, and I prefer doing this to sitting at home.
Just one really long, arching slug. That'd be terrifying to see in real life.
She nods.
Like some sort of half snake, half slug.
Anything else, officer?
Where are we anyway? What is this place?
We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know.
She looks at the ruddy bricks that make up the walls. Even though they've been repainted, there are still signs of coal black soot here and there. Might start a character in Disco sometime. Yeah, playing through this game again for the second time, I'm enjoying it still. Like, my experience is like vaguely similar, but you know, I feel like I'm getting as much out of this game as I did the first time for some reason. Still trying to figure out your streaming schedule. That's fair. I get that completely. My streaming schedule is gonna have to change again sometime in the near future. I think I'm probably just gonna drop the Thursday day and just do Saturday, or do Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. That's just my normal streaming schedule. Because I imagine once, you know, the return to normal starts kicking off, I'm gonna have to be traveling around a bit more.
But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a makeshift home. Besides, I don't really have to pay any rent here, so that's a plus.
That's a plus.
Plaisance was right. There's an entity living in the chimney. You should ask her about the curse.
I should.
Creative.
The lieutenant looks around the spacious room. Its ceiling fades into the shadows above. I've heard this place is cursed. Did you know that people call it the doomed commercial area?
I've heard the stories, but I don't think those stories are true.
She nods as the wind howls in from the furnace shaft above. Wait, how do you explain what happened to all those companies then? Plaisance is the one who sent me. She's convinced this place is swarming with malicious energies.
Plaisance, the bookshop lady? I've heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energies spared her somehow?
Interesting. No, Tuesday and Thursday would be long play something, but I don't. I also want to have a random day. A horror night and retro old school long play. Yeah. There's so many things I want to do, but so little time, so I kind of get that. Be interesting. I mean, you could just alternate, like, monthly, but kind of depends on how often you want to get to things. I imagine, yeah. Gun stream. We stream Gun. And we gotta stream Guns, that old Korean MMO game. Be good stuff. Actually, the bookstore isn't doing that well. There are hardly any customers, and she has to exploit her own daughter to keep the company going. The curse is just biding its time before it strikes again. Sooner or later, everyone will fail, even her. I don't know why the bookstore hasn't gone bankrupt yet. That's why I'm here to investigate. Alright, hopping off. Thanks for coming by, Elizabeth. I really appreciate it. I'll catch you in your stream later.
Alright, but it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the whirling in rags? Some people say it's part of the building complex.
Although the whirling is part of the Doom commercial area? Yes, but it's still a separate building. The malicious energies can't reach there. No, the whirling isn't doing well either. Its waitress just took off and the customers have trouble paying bills.
And then there is me.
She sighs, looking at her messy work table. All kinds of tools lie there scattered, from knives to carving files to wire cutters.
I've been here for 14 years, selling novelty dice to role-playing enthusiasts. Not exactly a million-real business idea, yet somehow I've survived despite the talk of malicious energies. Strange, isn't it?
It is a little strange.
It's because she's in cahoots with the demons.
Lysis thinks it's because you're the source of it, a malignant entity. Because you're competent and dedicated to your craft, the curse doesn't affect people like you. The curse will get to you, have no doubt about it. It just doesn't care about these earthly time frames. I'll be the first to admit that there are many inconsistencies in this so-called curse.
I was just about to ask, what do you think? Do you think the curse is real?
She leans forward in her chair to study your face.
The jig is up. The she-demon knows you've uncovered her true identity. Time has come to face the source. Fear not, for the forces of the universe are supporting you in this psychic quest.
I'm starting to see that there's no course, only business decisions and natural market fluctuations. Honestly, I'm still not sure. The world is a puzzling place. I think it still might be you that's causing this. Narrow your eyes very mysteriously. I guess honestly, I'm not sure.
Is it now? I've always thought it's a rather mundane and boring place with no supernatural surprises in sight.
She squints at you from her desk.
Well, if you ever find a way to explain all those inconsistencies in the curse, let me know.
She turns back to her work.
Plaisance is not going to like what you have to tell her.
Oh. Well, I guess we have the shivers check now. Do you know what happened to the other tenants? Everyone else is gone.
More or less. Are you interested in anyone specific?
Just a yellow scarf that covers her hair.
Rats scuttle in the dark rooms, under the abandoned blow dryers and dusty mannequins. Cobwebs cover rotors and radio computers alike. So much failure.
There used to be a hair salon here, right?
Yes, I think it was called Androgynous Orlando or something similar. They weren't a big hit around here. Turns out that working class men don't like genderless haircuts. They're scared of that word.
Interesting that you managed to notice that all from your window without even really looking around. I guess some of that's a bit common sense.
Who wouldn't like it either? The others would laugh at you.
What's wrong with a bit of experimenting? The others should have been more open-minded.
I guess it just wasn't the time yet.
Sticks a strand of her hair under the headscarf. What happened to the gym?
It wasn't merely a gym, it was Artemitep's boxing club. A community project created to steer at-risk youth away from drugs and crime.
And who was Artemitep? Artemitep?
A kind man from Zemsk. I heard he had some trouble with the law when he was younger, and that's why he wanted to start the gym, as his way of giving back.
Maybe that's what Kuno needs, a community-centric boxing club.
Kuno? Who's Kuno?
He's sort of the king around here. He's a little ginger gremlin who likes to defile dead bodies. Indeed. Who is Kuno? Your guess is as good as mine.
Oh yes, you mean the kid with the sailor's mouth. Yes, I've heard him yelling profanities in the backyard.
She looks out the window. It's oddly quiet there at the moment.
I think it would take more than a gym to help that kid.
How did that community project work out?
It didn't. If anything, it made the youth situation in Martinez even worse. At some point, someone started a rumor that the punching bag downstairs was full of amphetamines.
You should have known it.
Eventually, the coalition took away the funding and the club went bankrupt. This was a few years ago. It's gotten much more peaceful around the plaza ever since.
What's with the broken windows?
Oh, this one's a mess. There used to be a company that promised to repair windows 24 hours a day. What could go wrong with this one, right? Turns out, the business was actually set up as a front for an illicit group that was producing snuff medias. Who would have guessed?
Interesting.
And they never cleaned up the debris either. Now it's just littering the hallway and I have no idea how to get rid of it on my own.
Cool. Very cool about the debris. But what's a snuff maloo?
It's a Sub Rosa radio station that broadcasts real murders with real victims. Some people pay good money to get off on it.
Oh.
What does she mean, to get off on it?
Don't worry, the ICP has a separate division that deals exclusively with unlicensed sub-roses. This isn't our problem.
Lieutenant turns to you.
Good luck with that. It's not easy catching those perpetrators.
Then she lets the thought go. Did someone here make stuffed animals? I saw some mounts lying around.
You mean Mr. Fabron, the taxidermist? No, he mostly just did drugs.
Oh.
But what drugs exactly?
I didn't know what drugs he was doing for my police report. Let it pass.
Anything else?
Found creepy mannequins.
There used to be a fashion atelier here, but I have forgotten the head designer's name. They were doing well for a couple of years, until the insect rights activists came.
Insect rights activists? What?
Mm-hmm. The atelier produced a certain collection that used chitin among the materials. Apparently chitin is made in the Occident, where it's extracted from beetle wings. And you know how all kinds of political movements are big in the Occident. The activists shut down the biggest chitin supplier, which of course caused the price to skyrocket.
Huh.
And, naturally, all the most fashionable tastemakers refused to be seen in chitin from then on. The atelier went bankrupt before they could finish the collection.
I'm glad that someone took care of the little guys. I like insects.
Really? Anyway.
She looks at the windowsill, where a dead fly is lying on its back, legs curled up in a bow tie.
Poor guy. Suddenly, you get a feeling that insects are important to the case somehow. It's hard to say why.
What about the rotor blades and skis?
They were made by a company called Slipstream. After they pivoted from making rotor blades to skis, their chief executive took off on a vacation with all their money.
She rests her chin on her hand with an impish smile.
Honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending out holiday transmissions from Tulula or Tiumotiri or Hashtkor or wherever he is.
Interesting. What do those transmissions say?
The usual, I imagine. That he's been thinking up all kinds of new business plans and can't wait to get started on them just as soon as he returns.
Her smile widens before she sees the lieutenant's face behind you.
And like that, our curse.
The lieutenant is stern.
Sure, but Slipstream is history now. All their remaining assets got seized by the bailiffs in 47. I have no idea why those skis and blades are still lying around in the house. Not much use now, I guess.
I found a strange machine.
Fortress Accident, the radio game studio.
She closes her eyes as some remnant of a memory lights up in her face.
She liked them.
They were an interesting bunch. We talked about role-playing systems every now and then. Once, I even saw two of them get into fisticuffs over Wirral.
Weird.
They certainly took their work very seriously, even if they seemed to be chronically liberal with their schedules.
What do you mean liberal? What happened?
The usual. They ran out of money and couldn't get the project done on time.
What went wrong?
Well, I did hear them talking at times.
She looks at the hallway as if she can still hear them chit-chat behind her curtains on a cigarette break.
They seemed to believe they were historical individuals on some grand quest.
From what I've seen so far of the project, it seemed quite impressive.
Yes, but when the money started to run out, they just began to complain a lot about capitalism. You know, how the markets are rigged to keep out new businesses and so on.
Fair.
In the end, they just didn't get it done. They didn't have enough willpower to produce something truly historic, and to show up to work on time.
She's right. Showing up to work on time is important. Showing up to work on time is hard. No, scratch that. Showing up to work at all is difficult, especially if you've been drinking.
That's too bad. I would have supported them. Their project looked great.
Not the wisest decision. You would have lost all your savings.
She tosses a pair of dice on the table. One of them stops near the edge of the metallic disc.
The result is 1 on a 20-sided die. The dice is black and filled with little silvery flakes, like snowfall.
Anything else?
There was a terrifying taxidermied bear in the cellar.
Oh boy, the fabled Revershow ICT. You're in for a treat here.
Oh. She smiles and leans closer. Hands on her knees like a stand-up comedian ready to tell a story.
The place was owned by two guys who had some rather innovative ideas about marketing. The bear was one of them. Now ask me about their other ideas.
Alright. What are their other ideas?
There was really just one. and it involved picking out the prettiest girls in the neighborhood and paying them 20 cents per hour to man the booth. And by man the booth, I mean slump behind the counter with a face that could maim you if you ever dared to disturb their bored magazine browsing.
She leans back, disapproving. I don't know, that seems like a pretty good marketing idea.
Sounds like she really didn't like those girls. Fritta does the same thing.
I know girls just like that. She works in Fritte as a cashier. She's not particularly friendly. What'd they expect? 20 cents per hour is dog's pay. I'm surprised they showed up to work at all. I don't have an opinion on employing teens. I just want to know, how did it work out for the business? I'll say, it's not great pay.
Oh, but they did. They did show up to work, and not alone. There were also acne-ridden girlfriends and gorilla-like boyfriends loitering near the ice cream stand. And they already had the bear.
She closes her eyes as if remembering something painful. What about the bear?
The bear.
She repeats, pressing thumbs into her temples like trying to suppress a headache. It didn't work out?
Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile apex predator. To make matters worse, the fridge didn't work too well either, and half the ice cream came out malformed and partially melted.
Oh, that seems like to be the biggest problem.
Eventually, Ravishell Ice City lost the price war to its rival, Glacé 5000. Glacé 5000 sold caramel sundaes for only 5 cents a piece, out of regular fridges.
I'm sure the bear was doing its best.
Maybe, because the taxidermist who made that bear definitely wasn't. Doing his best, I mean.
How come?
He said that the bear was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants. Called it Megatherian.
Megatherian?
Scary, but cool.
Oh. That's good stuff. What's a vision beast?
Megatherian,
Oh, whoops.
a mega wild beast.
Hit the wrong button. What's a mega wild beast?
It's an imaginary beast that guides you through life. By telling you to do more drugs, mostly.
It's a way to be.
A wise and noble beast, guiding you toward the land where the streets are paved with drugs.
The horrific necktie tightens around your neck, strangely excited. But it doesn't feel particularly fun this time around.
I don't do drugs. I do drugs. I've got a vision beast myself. I don't have a comment on drugs, and not now, you beast, grabbing your necktie and mumbling. I don't do drugs. Not anymore.
Very good. You shouldn't do them. You're a police officer after all.
No, it's a dice maker.
Anyway, now you know the story of the fallen ice cream empire.
She seems almost sad, finishing the story. Some dust beams swirl in the morning light. Her eyes follow it idly.
Little sparkling embers under the window. Outside it's light. Light scatters from the low-hanging cloud cover. There's always the threat of snow.
Anything else? Another failed business, perhaps? I've been here for a long time.
Not so much a failed business, but I found the building's intercom. It's not really working.
Oh, right. I hope you didn't try to ring me.
She rubs her forehead. Her scarf has a faint line on her dusty skin.
I think none of those doorbells work, including mine. I'm still in the middle of connecting the wires. Sorry about the confusion.
So you're telling me the doorbell with the empty name card was yours?
That's right. I haven't even written my name there. As I said, it's quite useless right now. It doesn't work yet.
That's fair. I was wondering about the Whirling in Rags. Is it part of the same building complex?
You could say so. Both houses were built at the same time and under the East Delta Commerce Center project. That explains why you can call the Whirling from the intercom, albeit I doubt that anyone responds.
That's fair.
If the Whirling is part of the same building, then it's part of the Doom commercial area. The darkness of this place is there, too.
I saw a name, East Delta Pinball on the doorbell.
Right. It used to be a gaming arcade. This is an ancient failure, before my time. I'm not surprised, however. My advice, don't base your business on a fad. Hypnotism, floriography, trick-track, especially pinball.
Pinball's not a fad. People love pinball.
Agreed. Pinball is the worst.
Kim! I wasn't expecting this out of you, the lieutenant chips in.
His disdain for pinball could not be clearer.
Interesting. A strange thing happened when I tried calling a company called Slipstream SCA. Someone answered.
It can't be true. They don't work here anymore. They've been gone for years.
She looks like she doesn't really believe you.
Are you sure it was Slipstream SEA? Was it a woman? Maybe it was Plaisance from the bookstore.
She said she was from Tricentennial Electrics.
Tricentennial Electrics?
There's a moment before she recognizes the name.
It used to be a major electric company 100 years ago. Are you sure it wasn't just some kids playing a prank on you?
No, it was something else. It was eerie.
You're right. I probably just got made fun of. No, it was something else. Something eerie.
Pranks can be eerie.
She looks as if she's still convinced it's nothing to be worried about.
Oh, the kids these days. We were just one of them, and now they're terrorizing us.
She
No
shakes her head.
solidarity.
Actually, the Slipstream SCA mystery might be a recording. I called again later and got exactly the same message.
Why would Slipstream SCA have a 100-year-old recording as their doorbell message? Doesn't make any sense.
Hey, I don't know either.
I'm still convinced it was nothing more than some elaborate prank.
My money is on electrical anomaly. I've heard of these, especially in an old building like this.
He looks around. I have a few more questions about the building.
Sure, I'm listening.
She had other
Good.
questions.
I hope it clarified things a bit. What else?
I'd like to order a die from you.
Of course. Tell me what you have in mind.
Do you know the World Unturned 7th? I want a die for that. Do you have any cursed die? Tell me about your most extraordinary die. Sorry, I don't actually know what die I want. Just normal die for me, please. Very regular. I'm looking for something to help me with my work. Tell me about your most extraordinary die.
A star that fell from the firmament? Those cost more than 7 real. Are you sure?
Yes, I'm a star myself, a superstar. And superstars don't care about money. We care about money. We only have like 18 bucks.
Yes, you definitely have the proper attitude. How about a pair of 100-sided dice, made of ivory and inlaid with lodestone, a naturally occurring magnet, to complement your magnetic personality.
Wow.
10 real, and I can get these ready in 8 hours.
Do the magnetic dice even roll properly?
It's true. Magnetic dice are definitely different. When rolled together, the magnetic fields of the pips interact with each other to push and pull on each other as they're rolled, just like all magnetic personalities do.
Well, then it's a deal.
Great. See you in 8 hours then. Was there anything else?
No, nothing at the moment. I do want to put on these clothes. I'm gonna have something that increases my shivers, right? Nope, not a single thing. There's a shirt I could go buy at the pawn shop, though, that would increase my shivers by +1. But that's not so much, and it's also $2. And I need $2.
It's you again. Are you looking for a die?
Well, let's just try this. It's a white check, so we can try it again later.
You feel nothing. If anything, it's uncomfortably warm in here.
Now let's leave it at that.
She has begun to idly clean one of her carving tools with a dirty kerchief. The tool's sharp edge shining in the light of her desk lamp.
I will say that our failure options here are always really bad. Like trying to get a gun from Kim or just starting to take off our clothes. Certainly a choice that one could make. Interesting. That was kind of chaotic. Let's go down and talk to our friend Claudio. I still have a volition check we'd have to make, and our volition is pretty damaged. Last time it was, at least. But I don't think we have the attempt to make the white check again. So I don't know. I guess we'll see when we get up there. Kim's got questions for her, and I've got questions for her. Let me check my volition is a 7. I think I had a -4 to it because of the damage I was taking yesterday. I never even knew that having damage to your volition affected your stats. I imagine that's true for physical instrument as well. Weird. I'm drinking the attacked guard actually.
Can I help you? Another thing. Great. Yes.
So there's that dumpster behind the Whirling in Rags, but I can't actually do anything with it just yet. Like, I would actually need to go talk to Guard about it for some reason, I think. But I don't have the option for some reason. I think it's maybe because I found out about the dumpster when I didn't have Kim in my party. Maybe I actually need to have Kim there in order to properly address that. Don't mind me, I'm just gonna steal your bottles from your trash can. But they're for a good cause. I'm going to sell them in order to pay rent and fund my expensive RPG dice habit that I've recently picked up. Can I do this yet?
This window is pristine on the inside. Unlike...
Looks like it.
You know which window is not been recently replaced? Whatever it is.
Stop distracting him!
Okay, so I think maybe I have to go and solve that visual calculus check that's on my floor. Or at least get that window replaced in order to do that check. Hi there. Actually,
Hello.
let me save before I talk to her.
Officer, what brings you up here in the rain?
Pettis already gave us a recording where the deceased sets his intention to commit rape.
She puts her coffee cup down with a soft ring as the porcelain meets the metal table. This does not surprise her.
Did he? I never said he was a good man, or that he had good intentions. Only that he was never bad to me.
A smile flits across her face. Tapey specifically identifies you as the target.
Where did they get this recording exactly?
It's intercepted radio chatter of the deceased, recorded via a de-encryption station. It's authentic enough.
Does he say he's gonna do it Soldier of the Apocalypse style?
She arches her brow. Those are the exact words he used.
Yeah. That was practically his pickup line.
She picks the cup back up.
A memory surfaces in her tired neocortex. It's not entirely unpleasant.
Did he say whores a lot? Was he pretty much on the verge of doing it Kohoi style?
Kohoi was mentioned.
He wasn't actually there. He didn't do a tour, or at least didn't tell me he did. Would have been overkill anyway. He lived his own little Kohoi. It wasn't his.
He lived his own little
everything.
War crimes? What does that mean? Do you think he was trying to scare people?
No. I'm pretty sure he did all those things. And then had to internalize them to keep on living. Until they just sort of turn into his, what's the word I'm looking for?
Coping mechanism? Persona?
Running joke.
Ah.
I was gonna say running joke. And it sounds like you didn't even get the good bits. Lely's punchlines got way, way funkier than that.
Lely?
He was like the Seminoles conflict, the Kohoi massacre, and the 36 famine in Yezut all rolled into one person, then cast in Orani's ceramic armor, which he wore in bed and in the shower.
Weird.
When he said he was done, and done mentally, it didn't sound like a joke. It sounded like a deeply troubled man.
Hold on, he said he was mentally done. That sounds like a broken man to me.
Well, maybe I pieced him back together with my magical personality.
You like that kind of stuff?
We're all scraping up any happiness we can find, officer. Going around with our little scouring sticks. You, your first love, Mr. Kohoi here.
Did he tell you he had actually done any of those things? He and Martinez, I mean?
No. We were too busy laying waste to our own nervous systems to direct any of the fury outward. He seemed...
She thinks.
He seemed happy, I guess. At ease. As much as a man like him could be.
There is a small measure of pride in her that she could quell the rage in such a being.
Interesting.
Thank you for clearing that up, miss. Whenever you're ready. I'm interested to hear what Titus Hardy has to say now.
She takes a very small sip of her coffee and smiles.
Now that you've had some time, can you tell us more about the victim?
Like, for example, his name?
Actually, officer, I didn't know his name. I just called him Lely.
Sure.
A nickname?
I guess. He came from Lelystad. It's short for that. And it was his army name, apparently. He said his real name wasn't his. I tried to pry it out of him, but it was no use.
Lelystad. That's a good start.
Lieutenant writes it down in his notebook.
We have a few questions you can help us with. A few things a field autopsy alone can't answer.
Tears a page out of the book and hands it to me.
The young woman cranes her neck, trying to catch a glimpse of the page the lieutenant passed to you. On it is a list of autopsy observations recorded neatly in blue ink. The last missing pieces of a puzzle of flesh.
All right. How old was he, miss?
He was 42.
42? Are you sure? I would have had him above 50.
He had many scars that made him appear older. But no.
Memory makes her smile.
We even celebrated his birthday, like, some weeks ago. It was a funny 2 days. He had little reason to lie to me.
We were slightly off then. Thank you for clearing it up.
Lieutenant makes a correction in his notes.
The adversary one.
His eye color?
Blue. Light blue. They were like little blue galaxies, you know? It was strange, seeing those eyes in his fucked up face.
She continues with her eyes half closed.
Pardon the swearing. I do him an injustice. He wasn't ugly. And he had a beautiful, soft voice. Very surprising, what with all the scarring. It was quite something, watching him speak.
She takes a drag.
He had a combat wound on his chin and mouth?
Yes. Severe.
She seems to enjoy the word.
It made him look like half his face was cracking away in some strange smile. That and those eyes.
Ah, yes. His hair, if you can remember?
Lieutenant suddenly remembers.
It was light brown, almost blonde. He darkened it with brilliantine, made it oily. Not nice to stroke. I couldn't convince him to leave it alone.
Interesting. I too have stroked his hair.
Oily, isn't it? We have that in common now.
She says unfazed. She draws on her cigarette and lets the smoke linger for a moment in her mouth. I've been passing this first question because I don't know how relevant it is to the case necessarily. But I guess we're going to be here talking for a bit, so you might as well get around to it.
In Oranje, officer. It's, I think municipality is the term. A nowhere town there.
You were almost right, officer. That means his race was occidental, not mondial. I'll update the form.
Lieutenant shakes his head like you just missed a shot in darts. You're both for Oranje?
Yes. We were compatriots.
Did that bring you together?
No. He was too old for that. And from another part of Oranjenrijk. I didn't even understand his accent. What brought us together wasn't Oranje. It was bad habits.
Sex, alcohol, speed, probably also sildenafil.
Lovely. He had a tattoo. What did it mean?
Oh.
He smiles.
It's clear she liked it.
You liked it?
Quite a lot, yes.
It was a map of his service history.
Sure. Service history. It was mostly for showing off to chicks, though.
Oh. How so?
How? Imagine him lying in bed. Freakish musculature laid out on the sheets. Scarred, of course. Tattooed. The sheets are dirty for some reason.
She leans back.
He's smoking and drinking, of course. And his chest and shoulders and arms are studded with stars. Tens, hundreds of them. Maybe even thousands. And the woman goes like, "What was this, baby?"
She points at the air with her sharp-nailed finger, picking out an imaginary tattoo star.
And he says, "That was too hardcore. Don't ask me about that." So she goes, "Okay, but what's this, baby?" And he's like, "Saw some bat shit there. Killed some loincloths."
She lowers her voice comically.
And so it goes. Star after star, port after port, third world country after third world country. And he's done horrible things in every single one of them.
And you were the woman in this?
Oh, yeah.
She nods. Can you tell us precisely what these means? Hand her the photo.
No, thank you. I've seen enough of him dead. I can tell you what they meant without looking at them.
She pours herself some more coffee.
Go on.
He was a blue-eyed boy with thick arms, from a small town. He was also poor, and the government of Orania needed some people killed, so they turned him into a grotesque killer. For money. He went to Killer Academy in Vredefort. Then he killed some people on the Seminine Islands. And on other islands, too. All of the islands. After this, he came to Revachol and got killed himself.
Not a very fun story.
It is when you're high. It can be very exciting then. You have the tools to deal with it. It's not a very nice story to remember when you're sober. A change of topic?
Tell me something odd then. Did he enjoy his death?
Why do you ask?
She seems unsurprised.
Just have her answer the question. Don't give explanations.
Please answer the question, miss. Did he enjoy the moment of his death?
I don't think he enjoyed dying, officer. He had too much left to do. Too many third world conflicts. Couldn't tap out just yet.
Could it be that love did him in?
It very well could be, yes.
What do you mean?
What do I mean? I have no idea. I don't even know what you mean. Love did him in? What does that mean?
You told me. You said love did him in.
That's not funny, officer.
Well, perhaps then it was communism.
A moment ago it was love. And no, I don't think the Union is communist. They're a couple of shades pinker than that.
Interesting.
They're not hardcore in that way, is what I'm trying to say. What are we talking about anyway? This politics shit is a lot in the morning. Is it even morning?
It's 9:51. I'd call it morning. I'm usually not up before 10.
I think she's just tired. She doesn't know what you meant by that. And can you blame her?
Something miraculous is coming, he told me.
The lieutenant blinks. His expression does not change. All right, let's see where this is going.
From way out in the northwest, he told me.
Cool.
The woman nods. Lovely. Requested a semen screening from the processing.
Good for you.
Thank you.
What do you think it will tell us?
I don't know how a semen sample works, officers. How many days after intercourse does it have to be? I don't even know if he had sex with someone else. We didn't go steady.
I think we're finished with this line of questioning then. Hand the lieutenant back his notes.
Good for you.
Oh, whoops.
What do you think?
I don't know how a semen
Missed the
sample...
button.
All right.
Snip puts the slip back in his notes and observes the young woman for a moment.
Coolly, gracefully, she pours herself more coffee.
I need to talk about your room again.
Yeah?
The window is new.
It is.
She moves slightly to your left to check her reflection in it.
The lieutenant makes a note in his notebook. He finds the answer unsatisfying.
Right.
All right.
That was much louder than every other audio in this game. Let's go talk to Titus. I got some questions for him. And I'm sure he's not going to be happy about that at all. I kind of want to try and see if I can get that visual calculus check. Because I think it's going to help me with that window, but it also might not do anything. So, truly, what are we going to do about that?
The window stands broken in its frame. Cold wind blows in.
Alright. What visual calculus stuff do I have on me? +1 from my glasses. Nothing else. Let's drop that point in. Let's save. Let's
The
try
window
again.
stands broken in its frame. Cold wind blows in.
Easy. 9. Assess the damage.
The shards face outward. Whatever broke this window came from the inside.
Did I break it with my own hands?
A fine web of scarring covers the back of your right hand, but none of it is recent.
What did this then?
More likely a projectile than a held object. There are no fragments on the floor from pulling a tool back in after impact.
Assess the size of the impact.
It is too large for a bullet, yet too small for a piece of furniture. You're looking for something heavy and larger than your fist. The shoe you found on the balcony fits the hole almost as well as your foot. It would have also been heavy enough if thrown with force. Congratulations, you smashed the window with your own shoe.
I'm sure I had a good reason for it. Maybe I was trying to hit someone.
And maybe, just maybe, you succeeded. We'll never know.
Hey Gamer Raichu, how you doing? Thanks so much for the raid, I appreciate it. I have a notification that's supposed to go off. There we go. I was wondering when that's supposed to happen. How are you? What were you up to? I'm trying to remember what I saw you playing, but I don't quite remember what it was. Yeah. Player reaction. Evil Genius 2, World Domination.
Not the edge of the map this time.
Hey!
Well, that
clip
didn't
again.
take long.
It's a good clip. How are you doing? We're sitting here, vibing in our own sadness as you have to do in this game.
Or maybe you were trying to smash your own reflection in the window pane.
It's possible. So, I just put a point into visual
mirror hangs
calculus.
on the bathroom wall. In it, your face, adorned with the expression.
I put a point into visual calculus, so I should have those other visual calculus checks open right now, but I don't quite remember which ones those are. I'll have to go check my map for those. I believe I have. This one. Going okay for the most part. Disappointed with the game-breaking bug. Oh no, so I need to figure out a replacement game for the time being. That's awful. Oh man. I assume they're trying to fix that at some point, but yeah. Just having to deal with those bugs is always a problem. Like, you just lose so much progress sometimes, it's just not even worth it. Supposedly. Yeah, I guess. And now we just live in an era where games ship with bugs all the time. We just have to deal with it. But I guess we've been living with that for a long enough time now, I shouldn't be surprised. Do I have a +1 to encyclopedia.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face, adorned with the expression.
Heard about the band OO. I have an encyclopedia. 1, a low 8% chance to make this check. But it's not a 0% chance, so we might as well roll it. Because it's a white check, we can retry it.
Like the rest of you, it comes from a bad place, somewhere in the past. That's all you know for now.
Devs acknowledged the bug 2 weeks ago. Ah. Do you have any idea what you're going to play next then? Not sure. That's fair. I feel like I spent like the last few days just kind of staring at like the list of games coming out and just not being excited by anything, and I can't really tell why. Maybe it's just my mood for the past week, but you know, sometimes the release schedule is like that, and I feel like this year is going to be a lot of that with games having been pushed back because of the pandemic. I was talking to someone else who I know is like a reporter, like a journalist in game stuff, and they're like, oh yeah, everything's been pushed back. We're not going to be seeing big game releases for quite a bit some time now. Which I'm fine with, because I play a lot of indie games, but those are also going to get pushed back, but just no one wants to talk about that. Game's been out for less than a month, so I guess it can't be helped. True. Guess it's time to look for something that came out 2 years ago that have patched out all the critical bugs.
The clowns are still hanging around. What is it now?
Sucks having delays, but I guess I understand. Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta deal with it. I talked to Klasia about the tape. This looks so good. It is. It is very good.
And
nothing. She stands by what she said. How you doing, America Online at AOL.com? How is the rest of RE? Going to aim for something shorter, and hopefully by the time I'm done with that, it'll be fixed. Interesting. My mind is like filled with like brief game names, but I don't know anything that's within the genre that I've seen you play before. I assume you want something that's kind of like within the spectrum of the kind of strategy games that are there. Yeah, I think a lot of people don't go into like the art style for like some of the games. I remember there was a woman who was on the news, like maybe a few months ago, who was like doing a serious conversation about, I think, something. I don't quite recall what it was, but it was like the last 2 years. But it was just her. She had two ferns behind her, and she had a very large portrait of Kim Kutsuragi. She just had this hanging in the background.
Wow.
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 Thanks so much for the wows, Tiny Blue. I appreciate it. Wow. But yeah, I've been thinking about getting something, just like something to hang on that wall of just stuff I have, just for this game, but I don't know exactly what it is yet. I think I'll wait till I finish the game and then look into it, because I know these prints are available because that woman has a very large thing of Kim Kutsuragi in her back. I also looked into buying Kim Kutsuragi's bomber jacket, because I think that'd be fun to have. But apparently, by the time I checked in to see if they were selling those, they had sold out of the premium editions that they were selling that had the Kim Kutsuragi bomber jacket. And I was like, oh man, I missed it by just a few days. Nothing. She stands by what she said?
that fucking fucker. You're the worst cops in Revachol. I gave you gold on that tape.
He stared at his beer for 2 seconds intently, then turns to you. Gold? It was, I'm not gonna say locker room talk. It was dark stuff, but it didn't prove anything, and it didn't change her mind. It was bad. She pretty much laughed it off, Titus.
Dark. Dark is when you start a goddamn death rock band. He said he'd rape her.
He shakes his head in disbelief.
Sounds like he wanted it to change her mind about the hanged man. This is definitely personal.
What did she have to say then? Fine by her? This is what people are supposed to be like? Fucking whoop-de-doo.
I'm not here to relay conversations between you and Klasia. That's the thing for you two, but hey, I guess I'll do it because those are my only options. She did not say whoop-de-doo. It did not come as a surprise to her, then she definitely wasn't scared. Actually, I think it made her a little nostalgic. If anything, she seemed turned on by the whole door gunning thing. I'd say she was nostalgic for it.
Yes. In fact, I think she thought it was a little funny.
Lieutenant looks at you, then him.
Funny. No good goddamn psycho whore.
Titus not so much of a fun character, but he mumbles and his lips are barely moving.
Right. Oh, fucking righty then. I guess it's good then. That fucking...
He slams his giant fist on the door frame. He's very far away from it. The game is starting to get to the part where you're like, your character has kind of gotten past like his, like the darkness that he had within him, like the kind of feeling and the void that was within him, like he's gone and interacted with the world, but now he's kind of experiencing like the darkness of the world itself, and like now that he's established who he is as a character, we contextualize that to the way the world has been built, and I think it's interesting. The game does a very good job of just kind of positing those two things together.
Please try to control yourself in the presence of visitors, Titus.
Her voice is a bit softer than usual. Or than earlier.
Okie dokie. This is just perfect. Just fucking perfect. Any thoughts on this, lawman?
Titus rubs his chin with his palm as if trying to grind it smooth. I think this is personal for you. I think you have feelings for her. Maybe she isn't who you thought she was. Maybe she's still in denial. Be straight with me, Titus. What really happened? I think this is personal for you.
Yeah, they're all queers. Can't bump, hard fist, or anything.
That's not the line that was just said. This has happened a few times with this game. It's just a bug. Occasionally a line, like the actual audio for a line, is different from the one that's read. Pfft. Glenn explodes with indignation. Everyone's got feelings for each other. Where are you going with this?
That's all right, Glenn. I just thought, Chief. I thought anyone would come around if they heard that shit. Apparently I was wrong.
He rubs his temple. Not to take away from the heaviness of the moment, but these fellows back here, if y'all have seen Letterkenny, that Canadian TV show, they remind me a lot of the fellows from the hockey team that the fellows joined, like the 6 dudes who all finish, like who all, when they say something, they just say it in a line. They all have their own like specific ways. It's a good joke. I'm not going to explain it to you. If you've seen Letterkenny, you'll probably get it.
Yeah, that was fucked up.
He smiles sympathetically.
You wanted her to see the man for what he was. Now that you know, you might want to lay off this topic, or else you might antagonize him.
All right.
I just got too worked up. Big man lost his shit. It's cool now.
He shakes his head. Oh, Letterkenny's great. Letterkenny is fantastic. I've watched the whole thing. It was like my first thing I binged when the quarantine hit in. I was like, I don't know what to do. I'm going to watch all of Letterkenny and play this idle game that I found on Steam. And that's how I spent like the first 3 weeks sitting here. Before I had my standing desk and I had finally ascended beyond sitting. But it was a good thing. I enjoyed it quite a bit. The last season, I don't know how I felt about. The season before that ended on a very strong note, but this one I was like, I feel like it's just kind of spinning its mood. Or spinning its wheels for that. And it is a mood. Hopefully one will be done within the near future, but you know, who can say for sure? Be straight with me, Titus. What really happened?
I already told you. We fucking hanged him.
He puts his giant face in his hands and sighs.
There's less gusto in his voice now. His men too are growing increasingly silent.
Come on, Titus. It's been a long day. I'm tired of running back and forth between you. I can see you're tired too. Why don't you just...
You know what? I am tired. I'm tired of you and the whore upstairs. Next time you see her, tell her, Titus.
Excuse me.
Fuck off!
Ah. He throws his beer can down.
This is the petulant rage of someone who's at the end of their wits.
That lying, scamming. We're done. This is over. You understand? Your little investigation is over.
Oh, but I haven't even dropped the biggest bombshell just yet.
Yeah.
There's a silence in the room. Elaine starts saying something, then thinks best not to.
On the floor, beer drips out of the can into a small puddle. No one does anything about it.
I do like that this game has checks that occur every so often that just don't super matter to the game. Just add a little bit of context. Like it's not gonna help me at all to know that there's a small, tiny little beer just slipping out of that can, but it's just nice to know that I picked up on it.
What is this quiet funeral shit? What we need is some beers in us.
He looks around.
Bartender, 20 beers for the Dock Workers Union.
20 beers. That's 6. There's 6 of you here. That's 3 beers per person. That's not as impressive as I thought it was gonna be.
Why do we make it 40, huh? Why do we make it 100 beers? You're not loud enough.
The man shouts from behind the counter. Gart knows how to party.
100 beers? Now we're talking. Hoppity hop over here, cafeteria manager.
Glenn livens up.
The window might be closing. The more beers they get in them, the less cooperative they will be.
Convinced Titus is being manipulated? Very low because I have terrible rhetoric, even though I have a +3 to this. Oh, what a nightmare. This is a white check, so I can retry it, though. I just found a bullet in the hangman's head.
A bullet, you say? That's mighty curious.
He passed the back of his head.
Indeed. Mighty. How did it get there?
Lieutenant is fixed on Titus.
Well, there are so many bullets in the world, and so many heads.
He gives you an indulgent look.
I guess it's a little logical. At some point, one of them bullets had to end up in one of them heads.
It's bound to happen again, you know? Just statistically speaking, of course.
He taps on his right temple. I'm gonna ask you again. Why was this bullet in the victim's head?
Wow! He's got it in a real evidence bag and all!
The little man leans in to inspect the leaden blossom.
Why don't you go home and log it into evidence? These men have told you what happened.
I think the hanging was a cover-up for the shooting.
You know what I think? I think he was shot in the head as a kid, and his brain grew around the bullet.
Well, Titus, that sounds ridiculous.
Around the bullet, man. That's a good one.
Elaine pinches the root of his nose.
They're only pretending to enjoy this. Beneath the act, they don't like you knowing this.
Did you guys shoot him?
Shit! I probably did shoot him. I was drunk last night. You guys know me when I'm drunk.
He throws his head back.
Yeah, Glenn likes to shoot his guns when he's drunk. Better hope he stays sober.
Little guy looks you in the eye.
No, he meant before he was hanged. Did you shoot him before you hanged him?
Before? After? During?
She spreads her arms.
This is getting ridiculous. They told you what happened. Stop wasting your time.
Don't worry. We'll figure this out sooner or later.
Never been worried in my life, Lawman.
We got the extra point here, so it's a little bit better. But let me see if I can bump this up using some of my fashionable clothing that I have. I do believe I have a negative to rhetoric from, I think, some of my thoughts that I have. No, I guess I don't. That's interesting. Can I bump up my rhetoric, though? Getting a minus to my rhetoric, that's not quite as good. Nope. Pretty much just hoping for the best here.
It's you again. What is it?
I'm gonna try this 8% check and really hope for the best, y'all.
Clausia is playing them like a fiddle. Tell them how bad they got played, and they'll tell you the truth. There are many ways to go about it. All of them really good.
I believe our rhetoric is lying to us, but you know, here we are. You guys are always telling me they're good, and then they aren't. Okay then, men. It's clear you're being played like a fiddle. Play an imaginary fiddle. I know what's going on here. I've been wrong too. I've got this fucking dark shadow over my heart.
What the hell are you talking about?
I awakened into this world, something came with me. Ancient sadness. Oh, I got fucked by some chick. Fucked real bad. I'll go with the ancient sadness.
That shadow. A man your age. The hangover must be lethal. I never thought I'd say this, but maybe you should cut back on the drink.
I haven't drank in 3 days.
That is a lie. You should cut forward on the drink.
That's enough for the shadow now, officer. Let's do procedural questions, or even, why not take a little breather?
Right.
These working class oafs don't know how to talk about feelings. You shouldn't have opened up to them, or anyone.
Alright, rhetoric. We'll be back for you, Titus. Is there anything else I want to do here before heading off towards the other part of town? I don't believe so. I guess I should try and talk to these fellas over here again.
Officer, God damn it. Pull yourself together, Rene. What do you want?
Okay, so I can try this composure check, but I would need to switch into my composure clothes, which I think I have. I feel like I have something for this, but this happens every single time I do this. I have anti-composure clothes. Lovely. What about you?
It is such a pleasure to see you again, officer. How may I head the citizens' militia on this fine day?
Asking for that sandwich again? No. As much as I want to. A 3% chance.
Officer, what can this old carabiner do for you?
It's not a 17% chance like this one I just got.
As Rene turns from you to his partner and back, the medals on his chest rattle and glare. He keeps his spine straight and his ribcage lifted, displaying them proudly.
How many medals are there?
2. The larger one is shaped like a cross, while the smaller medal resembles the sun.
Look at the cross.
A crowned head in front of 2 crossed rifles. The medal hangs from a blue striped triangle.
Look at the sun.
A small blue star inside an orange sun. It has the word Valiant written below.
The medals. Did you get them for...
For bravery.
He interjects.
It's a conflicted topic for the old veteran. There must have been a number of controversial episodes in his service days.
That's what I was gonna say. For bravery.
I'm sure, but I know this uniform's reputation. You are also wondering if I got this for raping women or killing babies.
No, I really wasn't. I was just asking.
Honor is everything to me.
He says with grim finality.
Whoa. Sounds like you're about to open the gates of conversation. This man will literally talk your ear off if you let him wander off the memory lane.
Well then. So what did you get those medals for?
For doing my duty in the heat of battle. For looking my mortality in the eye. When men like Gaston here hid in the bushes and shat themselves.
Ah.
He saved some muddy princeling who foolishly strolled into the front line in his gown of velvet and gold.
Well, I'm actually going to go grab a glass of water real fast because I imagine this is going to go on for quite a bit. So I will be right back, y'all. Please excuse me. Let me pause here so time doesn't continue. Be right back. Get rid of camera. I'll let you sit all with this lovely little background music, which I enjoy quite a bit. Hello, I'm back. I was gone for a very short while, actually. Let's just, keep going then. Truly, truly. He saved some modern princeling from foolishly stroll to the front line in his gown of velvet and gold. Saved a princeling.
It was on the first months of the revolution here in Revachol. Unrest was spreading like wildfire. Marauders had taken most of the Couronne and were getting really ambitious. King Frisel thought he could end it all in one decisive strike. Sent his cousin, Drisson, to put an end to the unrest.
The old carabiner runs his fingers over the largest metal.
Alas, the young Drisson was all piss and no vinegar, wearing a tunic of purple velvet and cockatiel feathers to battle. Even his rifle was gold-plated, shone from 5 clicks away. Can you imagine the asininity?
I feel like I can.
Purple velvet tunic. That isn't exactly camo.
Lieutenant says thoughtfully.
To keep the long and bloody story short, Drisson marched us against the partisans in Couronne. And when I say marched, I mean made us walk into captured enemy territory, single file, like toy soldiers, while he rode in front on his giant red stallion.
Lu Bu also rides a giant red stallion, so maybe he's doing it for an intimidation factor.
The rebels were smart. They let us come real close before opening fire. Suffice to say, it was carnage.
Must have been a bloodbath.
I got shot in the left shoulder and went down. Just a flesh wound. But just as I turned over, the prince fell into the mud next to me. He was missing his lower jaw. Then his horse, driven mad by the noise and smell of gunpowder, stepped on my leg and shattered my knee.
He pats his right thigh.
It's painful to even think about. Hang on to the story. Veterans get sentimental after such retellings. This might yield something useful.
Alright. Okay, then what did you do?
I grabbed my sidearm and shot the beast in the head. Then everything went black.
Capitaine Arnoux, le fléau des chevaux.
When I came to, it was all over. It was just me and Jolas Drisson, gurgling in the blood-soaked mud right next to me.
He continues, ignoring his companion.
The Dink had taken numerous flesh wounds and lost a lot of blood. But despite missing his jaw, he seemed hesitant to die. Tougher than he looked, that one.
That's no Dink, that's a fighter. I give up. Can you imagine living without a jaw? Touch your jaw. That would never happen to Johnny Lawjaw. My jaw is tight.
So I grabbed the Dink and started crawling. Kept going until the 59th Cavalry picked us up.
He says with a stern look.
Through some miracle, we both survived. And the jealous freak convinced Frisel to give me a medal for not leaving him to die in his own blood. Piece and shit. He was the commanding officer and I was on duty. Just doing my job. Shouldn't hand out medals for that. 13 months later, I received the Sun for distinguished service. It's not worth mentioning.
He shakes his head. Thanks for the story, Renee.
Bah! There were many such stories in those days. Many such men, too. True Revacholians. Men with backbone.
Oh, yes, René, yes. Men were bigger, girls were prettier, and everyone wore the fashion. Lord, please, bring those days back, if you can.
The jolly man nods meekly.
I'm not getting into this with you again. Officer, was there anything else?
This is a red check and can't be retried. Renee told you about his war story, now impress him with your heroics? I'll come back for that. For now, we're heading over to the other side of town, once I can figure out how to path my way over there. Oh. A sewer gate. A gateway to the River of Filth. Lovely. Interesting that I have the marker for all these, but nothing to truly interact with.
A rusting control panel with loose wires dangling out from the hole where an indicator light used to be, and a mechanical lever sitting in the middle.
Pull the lever again. Grab the handle and pull the lever up. As soon as the metal connects against the contact pins, you hear a loud clunk. And then...
the water lock starts moving.
Okay, if we ever need to get to the coast, then this is the way. But please, contain your wanderlust for now. I don't want us to get sidetracked, not with everything that's going on.
Lieutenant looks across the canal. That's interesting, because I feel like going across the canal is what we want to do next.
Focus on one thing. Achieve it, then the next, he thinks. That's the task chain.
Because besides that, we need to convince Titus Hardy to help us out with something. And he's not going to do that anytime in the near future. I also need to get the thing signed for Everett. Whoever that is. Get 2 signatures for Everett. Get Isabel and Liliana, the nameless fishing village on the coast, to sign Everett's document. Once the signatures are secured, mail the document to Everett's accountant using the mailbox in the plaza in front of the Whirling. Alright. The radio relay hums with electricity. Been over here. Loose bricks. Some magnesium. Traffic beyond the gate. More abandoned motor lorries. The sign says no entry. Someone scribbled an inverted star in it. I can't open that just yet. Oh, there's coins up there. I'm absolutely going back for those coins. We're gonna be down a bunch of money in a few seconds. Or later in the day, when I go pick up those dice. A breaker box to power the radio pylon above you. Maybe there's something hitting inside. 90 cents. That's certainly something. Broken down fence and barbed wire. Lovely. The swing is missing. No one's been here for a long time.
Rust peels off the bent iron posts of the swing. The wind whistles through the skeleton of the small house behind you. There's desolation everywhere. Yet someone used to live here, laugh here. Thought it was a good idea to build a swing, even.
What happened here?
In this yard?
Lieutenant looks at the small building. A flock of grey swallows takes off in the distance.
Someone thought they could have a summer house in a bloc obscur, for cheap. It didn't work out. They abandoned it about a decade ago.
What's the bloc obscur?
A black bloc. A part of the city left unrenovated after the war. Or one that has fallen to gang violence. Or has become inhospitable in some other way.
So this part of the coast is a bloc obscur.
Practically, it's not an official term in any way, but look around. No sewage, broken power lines, crime, drunks. Life is tough in the blocks. It's no place to build a summer house.
Maybe they left behind something useful.
Yes, for you to pick up as part of the Jamrock Shuffle.
It gives you a weary smile.
It's not meant as nagging, just an observation.
We should move. I don't think we will solve the murder with forays into the urban hinterland, at least in this phase of the investigation.
Appreciate your concern. The wind is corralled by the 4-story buildings around this yard. $1.20. Glory, says the graffito, to the ghosts of us. Did I grab the other one? I did. Someone has left their music collection behind the tarpaulin. Oh, what is this? The smallest church in Saint Cyan. The tape you found from the shack on the coast. The A-side has the smallest church in Saint Cyan written on it, while the B-side is supposed to contain the instrumental version. Requires a boombox to play. I happen to have just one of those on me right now.
The porter reel is just what you needed. The reel's attached to the apparatus with a satisfying click. The tape is routed behind the magnetic reader.
Press play on the tape.
You press the large button marked Commencer, and the tape starts spinning. There's a small delay before the song starts playing.
Press your ear against the speaker.
It sounds like someone's moving in the room, getting comfortable. Then the organ starts playing a simple, melancholic tune echoing in the hallway. A lone singing voice joins in, telling you about the tiniest church in Cessons, surrounded by even tinier yard. You almost feel the seaside mist on your skin. It's mega sad. Within seconds you know, this is the one, the real shit you've been looking for. The one you trust your room to that Claudia told you about. Perform it. A click, then silence for a bit. Then the tape stops spinning.
Can I sing this for karaoke? I think I could sing this.
Of course you could sing this. You could take sad to a whole new level with this. And you already know the lyrics since you've listened to it like 1,000,000 times. And the B-side of the tape contains the instrumental version. It's like the world itself is telling you to do it. Only one obstacle stands on your way.
Would that be the cafeteria
Gart.
manager?
You have to convince Gart to let you sing karaoke in the whirling. After you've won him over, you can express yourself. Let the pain out. Make everyone understand.
Interesting.
The lieutenant looks at you as you remove the tape from the boombox. He doesn't say anything. An intricate web of blue lines stretches across the torso of the hanged man, from the right shoulder to the solar plexus. Each time the lines intersect, a small white star is formed in their crossing. Hundreds of fading asterisks riddle his skin. Their concentration is highest around his heart.
Are they? Fun. This game is draining in a way, but not in like other ways. Like other games, I have to talk more often. There's more to do. But here's a lot of listening, but you're like thinking a lot, and it kind of gets at you that way. This game is very depressing in a way. It's a lot like staring into the void. Just watching this man destroy himself and try and put himself back together. It's exhausting, but it's a different kind of exhausting.
It still kind of looks like a map of the stars in the night sky, but something's not right.
What's the meaning of this tattoo?
For you to discover. Someone close to the victim might have gone.
Alright. Bullet mushroomed out unpacked. Now it looks more like a fanciful jacket button. That's something to do. Pierce the skin, flesh and bone.
The bullet is safely sealed away in a plastic bag bearing the RCM stamp. Kim has filled out the label on the bag with the item number, case number, and date and location the bullet was found. Beside his orderly handwriting, the bullet looks especially sad, like a tiny, shriveled head of cauliflower.
What do I do with you, Bullet?
What?
Lieutenant steps closer. I said, what do I do with you, Bullet?
Well, if I was the bullet, which I'm not, I would say, find the weapon that shot me.
Ah, good idea, Kim.
If we find who owns it, we will have likely found who used it, possibly to kill our victim. In conclusion, the more we know about this bullet of yours, the better.
Feel the bullet through the bag.
The squashed bullet has some sharp edges where the jacket has split open. It feels cold, even through the bag.
Inspect the bullet closer.
The jacket of the bullet is made of a yellowish metal. It has blossomed out to reveal a dark grey core. The base of the bullet is close to 5 millimeters in diameter.
Look at the jacket.
You can just about make out a few striations near the base of the bullet. Little hairlines, linear. It feels standard.
In the core?
It's quite destroyed. Some of the fragments are still lodged in the wound.
What can you say about the bullet so far?
It's a jacketed bullet, close to 5 millimeters in diameter.
A jacketed bullet. Okay. It would have been shot from a military-grade breech-loading rifle, not from a muzzleloader, like those typically found on the streets of Martinez.
We were right. This came from a serious weapon.
Even the RCM uses ordinary unjacketed conical bullets. This is strange. Very strange. I like this, officer. Strange means unique. Unique means incriminating. We need to find the gun that shot it.
Something tells you that won't be anytime soon. This'll have to be one of those epic tasks that's open for a while.
Or we'll have this 58% chance to try and determine what type of weapon shot this.
You can't remember what happened last week. What makes you think you're going to remember arcane firearm models?
I don't know. A real belief in myself. I feel like this is one of those times where I had something on me that would have helped me out. Hand-eye coordination, was it? Fantastic, I didn't have anything. There's something that took hand-eye coordination away from me? No. Savoir 4, but that's feet movement, I want to say. This feels like something I should be able to interact with, but I don't know what it is. Thanks. Stuff over here. Can I pick these up? No? Probably. A lot of these tire tracks. Oh. Freaking ahead. A broken axle grinding. Banged up fuel canister. A bottle drained. All its booze, it's frozen to the ice. That's not a great sign. The ice just cut off the coast crackles, shifting.
A banged-up motor carriage lies half-submerged in the icy water, slowly sinking into the Insulindian Ocean. Only the cabin top, rear wheels, and the engine remain visible. It must be cold and lonely down there, in the icy water.
Carriage in the sea. Where did this come from?
My guess is it started its journey from the plaza, where it backed through the fence.
Let's investigate, Kemp.
I agree. We should definitely investigate.
Lieutenant replies, a curious look in his eyes.
You get a sudden, sinking feeling. Stomach acid comes up as you look at the motor carriage in the deep, dark, cold water. Why the doom and gloom? It's just a sunken motor carriage. Some motor carriages are bound to end up in the sea.
Run your hand over the cold metal.
The motor carriage is properly stuck in the ice. Getting it out would require a team of specialists.
What does the make of this MC? Can I see a logo?
The logo is too deep in murky water. You can't make it out, but you do see a monkfish float by.
Only I could talk to animals, and I could ask them. How long has it been here?
The ice hasn't closed around the vehicle yet. My guess is it's been here since last Saturday or Sunday.
Well, interesting timing. What should we do?
Let's wait for the low tide and see what's inside.
How long until the low tide?
I don't know. An hour or two, tops?
I guess let's sit on the swing and wait for the tide to recede.
As you sit down in the old, rusty playground, the world around you becomes very silent. The hinges creak under your weight, dangerously so. Nothing but the sound of seagulls high above in the sky, echoing like distant laughter. Ice cracks around the blue motor carriage in the sea.
Hold on, it looks very blue.
Yes, it does.
What's your favorite blue thing?
Let me think about it.
Whistle a tune. I'll try.
The tune on your lips forms a strange yet undeniably beautiful contrast with the surrounding bleakness.
I'm sure that's not going to help me at
The
all.
lieutenant gives you a quick glance. Then, still looking straight ahead, he joins you with a higher pitched and slightly more melodic trill. The wind blows. In the distance, behind the church, some vagrants are having an argument over a bag of tear they found in the reeds. Further away, a flock of seagulls lands. The clouds pass in the sky, and the shadow of the swing moves like the hour hand on a timepiece. 30 minutes have passed.
The tide is sure taking its sweet time.
I believe it's following a pattern set millions of years ago by cosmic forces. But I suppose it could move quicker, yes?
Clouds on the horizon grow darker, and the shadow of the swing set keeps climbing. You hear the distant rumble of the city. 30 minutes pass.
You have to decide with either the strikers or the shipping company. Who would you choose?
Luckily, I am already a member of an independent organization, and therefore do not have to choose between a rock and a hard place.
What if someone puts a gun to your head?
Your voice echoes on the water, strange and out of place in the environment. 30 more minutes pass.
Can you make out the marquee now?
Detective, I've been able to make out the mark ever since we arrived. I find it odd that you haven't. It's a Coupri, Model 40.
His eyes turn to you.
It is a simple and rugged machine, favored by working men, government offices, firefighters, animal control people. You know, those kinds of people.
He pauses to think. Squint your eyes and say, is that a number on the side?
Yes, 41. What do you think it stands for?
"41 is a rank in the underground street racing hierarchy. Small fish, this one. 41, huh? The street racer's quite the ladies' man. This will be Tommy 41, the morning host of FM 41. Looks like the factory made a mistake and accidentally called this one a Coupri 41. Stupid factory. I hate guessing. District, something? A precinct? Something municipal? Up your temples, you're getting a horrible headache. Oh no. Oh god, no.
I'm sorry, Harry. I'm so sorry.
41. Precinct 41. A massive pit opens up in your stomach, and the most terrible feeling comes over you.
I can feel it washing over myself as well, game.
You feel like you're about to faint and fall off the swing. Your hands get clammy, and the air tastes sour to breathe. Oh God, Harry. Oh God, Harry. What did you do? No. Just nope. Say no to this, Harry.
No, we're on the path to recovery. That means facing our mistakes.
I'm afraid so, yes. It looks like you drove your police motor carriage into the sea after you jumped across a canal.
They're not going to take me back after this one, are they?
People are more valuable than machines. Training a police officer is even more costly.
He's trying to cheer you up now.
People, yes, but not you.
I can still fix it.
That is very unlikely. All the electrics are toast. That goes for the electromagnetic steering and brake systems as well. You'd be lucky to find one undamaged component in there. In a few months, there will be nothing but rust left of this vehicle. It'll be cheaper to buy a new one. Well, not cheaper. This motor carriage costs 40,000 real. But in the long run, it still makes more sense to buy a new machine than try to refurbish this.
People are going to be angry at me, aren't they? In Precinct 41.
Let's face it, this is a substantial loss to your district's budget. I mean, my station only has 4 other vehicles in addition to my kinema.
He's avoiding your gaze now. The badge, the gun, and now this?
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and doesn't say anything. There is also a 4th thing you've lost.
A 4th thing?
More precious than the gun, the badge, and the motor carriage combined.
Things are going
lost
so well.
forever into the deepest of seas.
We were just whistling so merrily.
You can still whistle. Besides, the night is always darkest before the dawn.
Lieutenant says with a smile. Okay, Kingdom Hearts, calm down. At least I can see what's in there now.
Yes. Let's go take a look.
Well, the game is certainly a thing. RCM badge LTN 2JFR Dubois. Use the interact button in inventory and inspect this item. RCM Commander's Jacket. +1 to a Spirit to Corpse and +1 to Visual Calculus. What does my current one do? +1 to Spirit to Corpse and +1 to Shivers. I'll put this on. Let me put my boombox away. Giving the plastic bag out. Let me look at my badge. Thick blue piece of acrylic covering a thin leaf of paper with the officer's name and rank on it. Next to the writing, you see a man stare back at you. A younger version of you, already disintegrating inside, but still presentable on the outside.
A police badge on which you see the photo of a man. You. Some seaweed is stuck to the back.
Found my badge.
At least something good came out of all this.
I guess. One thing good. This is all we can really get. Side of the badge.
Encased between two durable plastic sheets is a bluish card with lines of information and a watermark in the shape of the street grid of Revachol West. You see a photo, a name, a rank, a document number, the date of issue, and, in the lower right corner, your precinct.
Look at the photo.
The man keeps winking at you with his green-grey eyes. The photo is old, no doubt about that. Good choice. A newer photo would look different.
Old.
8, maybe 10 years. The guy in the picture is rather good-looking. He's got a nice haircut and is distinctly lacking in massive sideburns.
Why? He's winking.
What do you think? His face is already contorted by the expression, although it looks less grotesque on him than it does on you now. It looks better on him because he isn't in as much pain while producing it as you are now. Although there's already a hint of that pain, certainly.
Fun.
Don't be fooled. The bad times have already begun. The badge in your hand shines as you rotate it, catching light. You see lines of information on it, and a shining watermark.
Name. Harrier Dubois.
Harrier? That's long for Harry. So you are Harry. Evrard was half right. Probably not a lot of people know your full name. Whoever told him you're Harry Dubois didn't.
Alright. I guess Harrier Dubois is then. But...
Not strange at all. Your name is Harrier Dubois, like it says on your police badge.
What kind of name is Harrier?
It's a wartime name. Revolutionary. The kind mothers give their sons during troubled times. Like Undying or Boxer or Ironhide.
It's meant to keep you safe. From bullets, hunger, shrapnel, kidnappings, and worse.
Well then alright.
Pleased to make your acquaintance, Harrier Dubois.
Thank you, Kim.
He's not going to call you Harrier. He'll keep calling you officer when he's angry with you, and detective when he's not. The badge in your hands shines as you rotate it, catching light. You see lines of information.
All easier to do this than have Kim record all of his voice lines again with the different names. Rank, Lieutenant 2JFR?
Lieutenant W. Freighter.
What is a Lieutenant W. Freighter?
The lieutenant is a rank above sergeant and below captain. It's the highest rank in the RCM that still does field work. I am a lieutenant.
And W. Freighter?
The title of Freighter is added to your rank when you decline a promotion to a higher rank. In your case, captain. You have declined twice, thus you're W. Freighter.
Declined?
There are many reasons one would do this. The rank above you in your precinct's decomptage might be taken, or sometimes promoted officers do not want to replace their superiors, out of respect.
Right.
And sometimes they just prefer the type of police work available to their current rank. In your case, lieutenant.
Heavy-duty case-solving machine.
Ah. What's decomptage?
Decomptage is the hierarchical system employed by the Revachol Citizens Militia. It means counting down to twos.
Ah.
The lowest rank is junior officer, usually teenagers. Then there are the patrol officers, then sergeants, lieutenants, then a captain. That's basically it, except for a few kinks.
What kinks?
Kinks like satellite officers and the additional freighter rank I already explained.
The long and short of it is, You're his superior.
Let's not worry about that right now, Authority. Right. Satellite officers?
You are given the title of Satellite Officer if your partner is quickly promoted through the ranks and you rise with him. You don't seem to be a satellite.
Alright. Thanks for explaining all this.
My pleasure.
Turn back to
Such
the
a
document.
small yet precious thing. Expensive paper caught between thick plastic, like a fly in amber. It reads...
Serial, Rev 12, 62, 05, Jam 41.
That's just the serial number. Revachol, Jamrock, Precinct 41, with some numbers thrown in there for good measure.
Love to have some random numbers. Date of issue, 7th of November, 50.
4 months ago. I'm guessing that's when you were promoted to the rank of Lieutenant W. Freighter.
Interesting that happened 2 months, 4 months ago.
A new badge usually comes with a new rank. You seem to have been doing well then.
Ah, so this is recent.
The pain in your chest tells you you were working yourself to death to earn that rank. The case created a lot of edge you have to take off. The death march really gets us going. A lot can happen in 4 months, especially in winter. The winters are never easy on you. Of that you are sure.
Easy on anybody.
I remember that time!
The tie around your neck feels tight suddenly.
That was a good time! We had a good work-drink balance going! What happened, man? Pump it up!
Precinct 41.
Yes, it's the designation of your precinct. 41. Like mine says 57. The 57th is mostly industrial harbor. A lot of asphalt. The 41st is...
He stops. What?
It's a tough station to work in. You have all of Jamrock to cover. That district should have 3 precincts, but money is what it is.
Sorry, I haven't been chatting. You've just been vibing and watching the story. That's absolutely fine. I've not been talking much about this game that much either. It's a lot of just listening and just feeling it out. You know?
It's no wonder you are like you are, he thinks. But then again...
It's a legendary district, and a hell of a station too. It must be an honor and a curse to work with people like Price, McCoy, Berdiaeva.
Interesting. Yeah, and this game is very intense. I don't feel obligated to be chatting that much, honestly.
And you? Is it an honor to work with you? Don't ask him, ask yourself. The badge in your hand shines as you rotate it, catching light. You see lines of information on it, and a shining watermark.
Put the badge away. Interesting. I feel like that opens up the window for... Nope, officer profile incomplete still. Interesting. Footprints in the snow. They lead away from the accident. That means I came from here after I crashed my car. There's a boat tucked away underneath the tarpaulin cover. A house in here. That's ominous. Just a single chair sitting in the middle of this room. The cold breeze enough to make the wall planks creak. A postcard. A bow knot for +2 drama. You see a dark red chair in the dim light of the room. I kind of want to equip that bow tie. What would that take over? That would go over my neck. I can't take off this horrific necktie. It's bound to me. That's a shame. I have so many drama checks. I think I have 2 actually. Not so many. More bit of tear. Through the broken glass, dusty shelves, and forgotten chair. I remember my first playthrough. That car scene is probably up there in terms of heaviest things that can happen in this game. it's certainly a whole thing. I do have my badge now, though, so I can go back and talk to Joyce. So maybe I should do that. Sounds of life in the north. A washboard strips filth from the fabric. Gotcha. I never played this. Yeah, this game is... It's certainly an experience. Like, I played through it back in the early part of 2020 last year, after hearing a lot of people talk about it during Game of the Year discussion. Actually, I played through it once when it first came out, because a lot of people were talking about it, but I bounced off it pretty quick, because the main character comes off as very abrasive at the start of the game, which makes sense given what the story's about, but it was enough to push me away from it. And then people were like, come back to it.
Planks of the bench do not look overly comforting.
The main character comes off abrasive at the start because that's the point of the game. So if you sit with it enough time, it's good.
We can sit on benches after we've solved the murder. Let's go.
Lieutenant looks down the street. You got it, my man. But when we do, we're coming back to this bench and we're going to sit here for a while and we're going to talk about us. The bushes are too thick and thorny to pass through. We steal from these people. These pants. And just hilarious trousers. I don't even know what that means.
These are some wonderfully regular pants. Not too tight, not too loose, moderate in every sense. You'll blend right in at some pleasant dinner party.
I like regular, normal things.
I know you do. These inter-Estellari pants are like wearing a perfect compromise in your nether regions. No one will call the moral intern on you like this, that's for sure.
Excuse
You're
me.
a little more moralist now, buddy. A little more normal, even if you didn't want to be.
Interesting. You see dust-covered linens, dried tulips on the bed, and the roof of this house that says Allez-vous-en. I don't know if that's a foreign language in this area or not. White curtains have been drawn shut. No one looking in. Quick travel unlocked. Fisherman checks. There's quick travel in this game? What? Well, I guess if I buy the map, maybe? Buy a map with 65 cents. That's for sure. Construction material. Whoever planned to build this house left in a hurry. I'll take it. Solaram Young Manus. The woman next to a bucket of clothes hums an odd melody. Her eyes are closed.
Welcome to the fishing village. Please lean in closer. I have cataracts.
She opens her eyes. Lean forward.
Oh, welcome, police officer. We don't cause any trouble around here. And we don't want any trouble either.
Fair.
We are not here to cause any trouble, madame.
Trouble? Say the second thing, Bratan. Shows you got style.
What he said. We're cops. We don't cause trouble. We take care of trouble. Well.
Oh, of course. Last time we saw you around here was 12 years ago. You also came to take care of trouble then. Wish you did. But still, in Martinez, you're considered an ill omen.
What kind of ill omen are we talking about?
Oh, the usual. Dark tidings. Black hound.
That's you, all right. A black hound licking your own heels.
I'm totally an ill omen. It's exactly what I've been telling everyone. And it's here.
You're not. No one around here considers us an ill omen. People would have told us.
Maybe they are afraid.
Why?
Because you're an ill omen. But you're still welcome here. As long as men with guns aren't chasing you. And maybe even then, because that's the kind of fishing village we've built. I'm sorry there's not a lot of room to park the motor carriage, and not a lot of houses, or a lot of people. My kids are long gone, searching for treasure. So are others. Ah, look at me ramble on. What brings you to us?
She waves her head. Where can someone stay around here?
Stay? Most people here are trying to leave. That said, if lodgings is what you're looking for, I've got a free room in the shack.
Her soapy thumbs point to the building behind her. How much is it?
I won't charge you for it. Take it as a gesture of goodwill from the village to the RCM.
There's this guy, Gart, who makes me give him money every night just so I don't die out in the cold.
That's exactly how they get ya. That's why we built our own cinder block houses on the seaside. So we don't have to give money to those crooks. They might not look like much, but they are ours.
Yeah, well, you got yourself a new tenant.
Don't make an old woman regret opening her house to the police.
A key appears from under her apron. She hands it to you. That means I have $20 now. That means I can buy a whole bunch of stuff.
Well, if you are not in the hostel in the morning, I'll know where to find you. Here, in a shack.
He looks around and adds.
He's a little relieved you're no longer in that room. Should he? This environment encourages one thing, and one thing only. Drinking.
Does it?
Finally, you have those lamos of matinees off your back, Bratan. This looks like a great place to bring chicks.
Oh, thank you, Necktie. What's in this fishing village?
Just us. It's barely a village anymore. We almost don't exist.
She sounds tired. What do you mean?
This is pretty much a non-place. A gap. A blank spot on the map. Just a cluster of nameless shacks on a nameless street.
There's got to be something here.
Over there, you can find more of the same. Shacks and trees growing wild. That's the pox.
Between here and Jamrock, a dusty sea of old trees, all covered in industrial soot. Small houses under them, an overgrown park.
The pox? What's that?
An old military hospital and its surroundings. Or it used to be, during the time of the suzerain.
She looks towards the buildings to the south.
After the war, it was turned into a goodwill hospital for shell-shock veterans and folks looking for some quiet in the old sanatorium gardens. Now the area is crisscrossed with nameless streets and makeshift cinder block houses. Shacks as far as the eye can see.
Up to the hospital.
The goodwill ran out. The staff left and the place was shut down. It's long gone by now.
Who else lives in this village?
Well, there's Lillian and her kids. A few new folks live in the house to the east, but they are away right now. And then there's the drunks. Not a pretty sight, but there's little we can do about it. Home is home, even for them.
Who? What drunks?
Sooner or later, you'll see for yourself. Don't have to look long to find these guys.
Is there a way to make a little money around here?
Here? For you? No, officer. The only money we have here is some coins the drunks tried hiding from their women and then forgot about.
That sounds like good cash to me.
She nods, rinsing another piece of cloth.
What's further down the coast?
Not much. There's the abandoned church, the DeLorean Church of Humanity. It's been there since before my time, even.
Why is it abandoned?
Some things just don't fly, officer. Look around. Who'd go to church here? They built it 300 years ago. Must have been nicer then.
So, they don't hold services there anymore? The Ecclesiastes?
No, we've tried, but things just keep happening. Crime, accidents, other things. The place never stays open. It's a pity. It used to be such a nice church.
She frowns.
She's not telling you all she knows. Keep her talking.
I get the feeling you're leaving stuff out. What else is going on?
Well, there's that music. Music from across the sea. Huh. It started a few days ago, and now it's blasting even through the night.
That's pretty good.
And now, suspicious-looking people are sneaking around the church. I don't like that.
Perhaps the mysterious music is somehow connected to the case. A Rusalka or a half-demonic Apsara singing.
Lovely. What else is down the coast?
Before you get to the church, there's some ruins, an apartment complex, or some kind of electrical plant. Run-down bunch of houses, empty.
Which is it then? Apartments or electrical plant?
I don't know exactly. A pre-war place. It used to be something. Before the war. I wasn't here then, you know. Was born in Samara.
Anything else of note?
Of note? The old fish market up on the boardwalk. But it's closed.
Who'd want to come to a fish market here?
No one. That's why it's closed. It was once a bustling place, back when I was young, and so was everyone else. Now, what catch we do bring in goes straight into a lorry for the Delta or somewhere else.
That's it? There's gotta be more along the coast.
What? You're one of those real estate people with big plans? If you want a development opportunity, you can check out the abandoned building over at Land's End. Used to be a supply depot, we think, sending goods and ammo across the bay. It's jammed shut though. We tried to get in, see if there was anything to sell or scavenge, but it's impossible. And now you know everything there is to know about this coast.
She drops a bar of soap into the bucket with a splash. Tell me about yourself. Who exactly are you here?
Me? No one. Just an old washerwoman. Mother called me Isabel, if that's what you're asking. And my married name is Sadie. Now it's your turn, Mr.
Lieutenant W. Freighter, Harrier Dubois.
Quite a handle you got there. So many titles. One of them double.
I was asked to get your signature. Hand her the envelope.
Eh? What's this about? Come now, I can't read all this scribble. Tell me what it says.
Everett wants to turn part of the village into a little youth center.
Huh. I might be half blind, but it looks like part of the village is gonna be a street. The best part. The part we need to get out of our houses. Have you asked Lillian about this? I won't even consider signing till I know she's on board.
I'll go ask her then.
Yes, you do that. Can't let fat Mr. Clare down now, can you?
Goodbye then. Appreciate it. Yeah, I don't want to get them to sign that letter. Seems like an unnecessary cruelty to these people, especially now that they let me into their house. You can't see into the house from this angle.
The door has seen better days. The layer of paint has started to peel off due to the salt and wind from the sea. Even the lock looks slightly rusted.
Unlock the door with a key.
I'll wait outside to give you some time and privacy to check out your new living arrangement. But just so you know, after we are done with the day, I'll still be staying in the whirling in rags for the night. We'll meet in front of the shack in the morning.
The key turns with a satisfying click. You can enter the shack now.
I feel like there's a bunch of stuff in here. The floorboards creak under your step. Intricate heat engine hums quietly, giving out pleasant warmth. Old science fiction magazines, books about birdwatching, an almanac from '39.
A brisk coastal wind still howls against the window of the shack. Occasionally, the waves crawl in under the foundation, producing a low hum.
Listen.
The room feels muffled, like you pulled your hat over your ears. Outside, it is cold and windy, but you're inside, and it feels safe and warm.
What is this place to you?
My new hangout where I could sit silently, drink and die without looking at the waves roll in. My forward base for the coastal part of this operation. It's free. That's good enough. I could live here. Looks like this is my new home. Wonder where the old one went.
Westward, across the canal, towers the whirling in rags. Door number 1 on the 2nd floor is locked. Behind it lies a trashed room. 1 floor below, behind a counter, stands an irritable man.
An always irritable man, though.
In a small shack in the fishing village, a baroque heater hums quietly, emanating a sense of comforting warmth. A wash basin lies on the table, the water inside reflecting the somber face of the world. Far away, on the corner of Perdition and Main, a nondescript building, obscured in a haze. It's vacant and lost, just like its tenant.
Thank you, strange sensation, for a fair assessment of the current situation.
Outside, the howl of the wind has picked up. The waves crash against the stilts again. It's as if you think the thought, but in someone else's voice.
Look under the floorboards.
Alright. Is there floorboards here I can look under? You see the waves, the sea, the church. Corajib jacket. Ooh.
An old mirror hangs on the wall. You see the reflection of your face in it, adorned with the expression. On the table, you see a bowl of water, a rough soap, and next to it, a small hand mirror. A straight razor soaks inside the wash basin.
Is shaving the right call?
The water reflects back a vague image of your face. Nose bulbous and red, hair unkempt, wrinkles lining the eyes and forehead. The stash is gigantic. You'll be looking like a pansy without the chops. A fucking pansy.
Well, then it's time to shave. Let's get these mutton chops off.
Your hand trembles as you scratch your cheek. Oh no, that's not how a grown man shaves.
We'll leave it for now.
Thank God, I would have cut your throat. The centipede is exaggerating. People don't actually cut their own throats when they're shaving. At least, not accidentally.
Lovely.
The bed is comforting, if a bit run down. Still, you've earned a rest.
No time to rest just yet. We've got places to be. It's sad to check under the floorboards, but I don't have like a thing to click on under the floorboards. Maybe our perception's just too low. Maybe I didn't get the passive check for that. I wonder. I don't quite remember if there's something beneath there. Which is another benefit of coming to this game again after having not played it for so long. I've forgotten a lot of what happens. But some things, like that car, stick with you. What are these doing in the fish? Can I open this? Oh, boots. This boat is floating freely in the water, unmoored. 70 cents. Is someone here? No, the planks creak beneath your weight. The ladder leads to a school of fish swimming in the kelp. I think we'll talk to Jillian here, and then probably call it first string.
Hi,
Lillian.
officer.
A woman in a raincoat stands on the quay, considering an overturned boat. A sword and a scabbard hangs from her hip.
Anything I can help you with?
It depends. Where are we exactly?
A fishing village on the seashore. This place doesn't really have a name. It's sometimes called Illisible.
She looks around. Why?
The sign on the street leading here is illegible. Has been since they built this place.
The wind rattles her earrings. I've got questions. The first is, what's your name?
The name is Lillian. People call me Netpicker. I think I have time for questions. And that was actually the second one.
Ah, she gestures towards the fishnets.
Ask her about the cool sword. Helps to break the ice.
Nice sword. Does it come with a story?
Unfortunately, the factory sold this one with a 3-year warranty instead of a story. It's to intimidate folks, mostly.
She smiles at her own joke. It is imposing.
It's a regular mass-produced sword, like a shovel or an axe. Nothing fancy, just for intimidation.
What do you need intimidation tactics for?
From time to time, people need a lesson in respect. That's just the way it is. Back in the day, I caught the eyes of many men. And believe me, men need a lesson in manners from time to time.
She adds, tittering. Can I borrow that sword?
No, I'm afraid not. Tempting to confiscate the blade I used to keep these animals in check. You would put me in an early grave.
Why don't more women arm themselves if it's so effective?
What makes you think we haven't? The truth is that almost everyone in this life is scared and tired and stupid and too dull for that.
Fair.
That goes for men too. But they put on an act for us. Pretend like everything's good and living in shit doesn't bother them. Like anyone falls for that.
That does not go for real men. It does not go for you. Show her. Show her the wonder.
I don't know. Behold. What the expression on your face. Her eyes meet yours, and suddenly she starts laughing. It's hoarse, as if she hasn't laughed in a while.
Not bad.
You like it?
Sure. It looks as if you could face down any horror in the world with that same unchanging grin. It's like a shield.
Her face straightens.
The traces of her laughter are still there, in her eyes, fading fast.
So, where are all the men now, then?
Some went to patch their wounds, their lesson learned. Others were more thick-headed.
She looks
And
down.
one of them, I ended up marrying.
Wait, why if they're thick-headed?
Guess I enjoyed the way he bled.
Her expression doesn't change. It's hard to say if it's a joke.
If it is, then why the melancholy?
Where's your husband now?
Gone.
Gone where?
To the waves. The sea took him. It was a long time ago.
Her eyes stop in yours. Oh. Say no more. Wait for her to continue.
He didn't respect the sea. Went out there, drunk like a skunk, and sure enough, one day the boat was found floating empty. A bloated corpse turned up 2 weeks later.
Ah.
Now, before you tell me how sorry you are for my loss, know that it was 4 years ago, and I've moved on. There's only so much mourning you can do for a drunk with sinewy muscles.
She really liked those muscles, though. It's in the way she pronounces sinewy.
Death is nothing. I shit on death. You should have thrown yourself into the waves after him. Time really is the best cure for sorrow, isn't it? It's healthy to let go and move on. Gotta keep the wheel spinning. I'll go with time.
Us working folk don't have the luxury to be bedsick with melancholy. I buried him, mourned for an appropriate amount of time, and went on.
She crosses her arms.
Life didn't really change that much for me and the kids.
He glances at the village where 2 little kids are playing with what look like rocks.
This is neither a touchy nor a very interesting topic for her.
Oh.
She looks like she's ready to go on a date with another, better, drunk. Ask her. Both of you could need some action.
Do it! Hit on the widow! It's the right thing to do!
Suggestion 5. Very low. -1. Skin presence makes it awkward. -6. Don't know a good spot yet. Explore the coast. Alright. I'm looking for someone. Maybe you can help.
Let's see. Who are you looking for?
I'm looking for a missing cryptozoologist.
I don't think I know what these are. Care to elaborate?
People who are looking for animals that are hard to find.
Aha! Like snowmen.
Snowmen? Never heard about those.
2 old guys have been wandering around here, nose in sand, talking nonsense about snowmen and the like.
The like?
Right. Not only snowmen, also green men, monkey men, burning rhinos. You get the picture.
I do. Where'd they go?
Don't really know. Further down the peninsula, I guess. I mean, that's where they were heading. Who else are you looking for besides snowmen?
A working class husband.
Yeah, I'm not really looking for that anymore. Not much into the middle class ones either. I could use some landed gentry. But apparently they don't make those anymore.
The husband isn't for me. I'm looking for him and for his wife.
Wish I could help you with that, but I haven't seen your working class husband. Maybe I can help you find someone else.
She seems genuinely sorry for not being able to help you.
That's it. I'm not looking for anyone else right now.
Well, how can I assist you then, officer?
Well then. This is a white check. I can retry it, so... I'll come back once I've satisfied these other conditions over here. I was asked to get your signature. Hand her to Everett's
Are
envelope.
you? This says by signing, I agree to living with construction noise. What exactly is the Union building?
Everett's planning on turning some of the village into a youth center.
What a nice idea. Wouldn't have thought that...
Voice trails off. Thought what exactly?
That Everard and the Union have nice plans for anything. I thought they only cared about themselves. Well, I guess Union members have children too.
On second thought, don't sign the papers.
Aye, if you say so. Probably better that way.
Probably.
I mean, who likes construction noise?
What do you do around here?
Like I said, fish mostly. Sail the waves, take care of the kids, pick nets. Right now I'm tarring a little skiff.
Oh. What else?
I sell the fish to people in the Delta to serve at their fancy restaurants. Authentic Insular Indian cuisine.
Is that enough to make a living?
Sometimes I also walk to the beach to see what the sea has given up. The sea is full of surprises.
It truly is.
This is what is called a conversation. You don't have to be guarded right now.
Oh, lovely. Interesting. What have you found?
Wood, pieces of glass. Every once in a while we see dead bodies. Human, animal, fish, other odd sea creatures. A mine washed ashore once.
Oh.
Bottles, drugs also. Lost cargo in general. Most of the time it's just wood and glass.
A mine. The RCM could use a mine. Where is it?
Well, the RCM has to wait for another one because some army folks came by, took it in the middle of the bay and blew it up. The blast was surprisingly timid for such a huge spiky thing.
That's how that happens, I guess. So I take it that's your skiff? Point to the overturned boat.
Sure is. The Sun, I call her. Coated with a fresh layer of tar just yesterday.
Yeah.
It'll take some time for it to dry, assuming the sunny days continue.
Well then. Be seeing you. Lillian's an interesting character. I don't quite remember much about her. I just remember her as a lady with a sword that you can ask out on a date. But getting back to who she is interesting. Very melancholy. Like every single one of these characters in this game feels like they kind of represent some sort of small ideal that I think is fairly interesting. But it's kind of hard to pinpoint sometimes exactly who and what. But I appreciate y'all coming by. I'm the world's cutest gamer. We're gonna find someone to raid, and I think I know who we're gonna raid because Prussian Green raided me at the end of my last stream, and I completely missed it. Like, I think I hit the button to raid, and I hit the raid button as it was coming in. Oh, thank you for being here, America Online. I really appreciate it. On Thursday, I may not be streaming. I'm getting my second vaccine dose tomorrow, so I might just be completely out of it come Thursday. So I have no idea. We'll find out. If we do, sorry to join late. Truffles, no problem. So if I'm streaming on Thursday, it's going to be this small indie game, like a demo for an RPG that Illithid pointed out to me on Twitter today, and then probably GeoGuessr after that, because I don't think it's going to be that long of a demo. And then come Sunday, we'll be playing more It Takes Two with Tiny Blue. Yeah, that's still supposed to be happening. And then Monday and Tuesday is going to be more Disco Elysium. Hope it goes well. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I think it'll be fine. I've heard it's like kind of a weird genetic thing. I don't know how much truth there is to that. But my sister already got hers, and she had like a little bit of a fever. But my mom was fine when she got her second dose, so maybe I'll end up with something a little bit, but probably nothing too debilitating. Looking forward to doing more obscure games. Hey, thanks, I appreciate it, Truffles. And Co-op Cuties. Co-op Cuties is a good time. I'm liking it quite a bit. I plan on making Co-op Cuties a more dedicated thing when I readjust my streaming schedule for having to go back out into the world and doing more stuff, you know? But, like I said, I'm going to be reading Prussian Green, who has been playing, I believe, a bunch of retro games. Like, I've been seeing it out of the corner of my eye that they've switched around from, like, Qbert to a whole bunch of other stuff. I don't actually know. But, thanks again, y'all, for coming by. Really appreciate it. Yeah. Bye-bye.